So, are you guys ready to see our project
Let's
and
do
make
it.
our shirt?
Yeah.
Da 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 da. Here, they can't even see it, can they?
No.
That's the whole
subtlety.
thing. That's the subtlety behind this. So let's go overhead, and you can see. Can they see it better there?
In real life, it's so cute, y'all. I like hope.
Hold it close. There you go.
Right there.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay, so you all can see how it looks like it is faux embossed. You can really, really see it in person a whole
so
lot.
Cute. Yeah, you definitely can more in person.
This is such a, it's a vibe. Like it's a vibe for me. I love it. So we're going to recreate this tone on tone faux embossed sweatshirt today. First thing that I want to do is I'm going to turn on my heat press and get it up to the heat setting. Now, let's go overhead real quick and we'll just talk about the supplies because y'all, it's like 3 things. Okay, literally 3 things. So you're gonna need your shirt, and I did see some people in there earlier saying how black can be hard to color match as well. I agree, it can be, but I think your best bet is if you have a specific color you're wanting to go for. Let's say you're wanting to use a blue or a lilac or whatever. I highly suggest taking a scrap shirt or a scrap rag, whatever, and pressing your puff vinyl and then taking that puff vinyl to the store and matching it up with the color of shirts that they have.
Yes.
Okay? And yes, you can do this on any shirt or any sweatshirt. It does not have to be this brand. We are using the Comfort Color brand, but y'all, puff will adhere to any fabric. So let's go ahead. This is the puff vinyl that we are going to be using today. And yes, this is the Hobby Lobby brand. And y'all, I'm pretty impressed with how well it puffed up.
Yeah.
Like I said, like Alicia said earlier, no matter what puff vinyl you use, you are going to get somewhat of a brainy effect, but you get less of the brains if you press it perfectly. So the first start in pressing something perfectly is checking your times and temperatures. So this sheet is what comes wrapped around the front of this puff vinyl. Do not throw this away. Same thing with, I know that I've seen it with Tech Wrap, lots of brands. This is going to have your information on the back. I highly suggest that you read your instructions on all different material. This is set the heat press to 284 degrees. I mean, y'all, they got it down to not just 280, not 285, 284. I'm surprised it doesn't say 284.3 or something.
Yeah.
So, if this is what they say to puff their puff vinyl on, that is what I'm going to set my press at, okay? They are the ones that have spent hours testing different materials, finding different formulations, finding the correct heat press setting. So go with whatever brand, whatever the temperature of that brand says, okay? So that said 284. I'm gonna come back over here and set my 284.
Kim says it's a super classic look. Think Guess brand in the 80s and 90s.
Oh, that is
All day.
exactly what we were going for.
Yes.
I
I
love that.
actually remember my mom having a Guess sweater, tone on tone. Like, I don't know if it was puff vinyl. Maybe it was puff vinyl. It was tone on tone though. And it said Guess really big across the chest. Oh my gosh.
Yep.
Nostalgia.
Yep. So after you have that set, my next thing, and this is just personal advice from me to you. If you do not have a laser thermometer that you can point and shoot at your heat press, I know this is going to sound silly, but if you are having issues with puff vinyl and it's not puffing properly, you have your heat press set to exactly what they tell you to, and after time and time again it's still not doing something right, that means your heat element is off. That means this plate right here is off. Guys, Every single heat press is different. The mechanics inside the heat press, something may be off a little bit. It's just the same as you may have a Honda Accord and I may have a Honda Accord, same year, same color, same everything. You always have issues out of your car, I don't. It's the way that sometimes mechanics work. So even if you spend a lot of money on your press, I highly suggest getting a laser thermometer if it is not working for you. That way you can check the actual temperature of your heat plate. There is a good chance. Kim says infrared thermometers are about $10 at Harbor Freight. There you go. Beautiful. That's what you need. Because a lot of times either a heat press, the temperature will be way higher than what you have set, or it can be lower. So I have seen a lot of people's puff that I have seen on Cricut official website, in our membership, inside our Facebook group. A lot of it looks overpressed, meaning that you've pressed it too long or it's too hot. Heat plays such a big part of this. So
if you're using an auto press, you're gonna need extra pressure.
You are going to need extra pressure, and you can find that in the form of a pressing pillow or a pressing mat.
Right, like that little squishy thing that we have on the base of our heat press, if you could sandwich another one on top of it, would give it that extra pressure. So that's like a silicone mat.
So this is like, and I'll show you the thickness, go overhead. This is how thick this mat is. If you have an auto press, what you will need to do is get another one of these mats, or a heating or a pressing pillow is what they're called. They're like, we've actually got one in here. I'll show you what a pressing pillow looks like. This is a small one. Like this is a pressing pillow, and we'll go back overhead. You can see it's squishy. It has a Teflon sheet surrounding it. So basically what this does is if you add this here, and let's say this was an auto press, what this would do is it would make this press have more pressure. So if you have the HTV Raw Auto Press or the Cricut Auto Press and you are not getting the amount of pressure that you need for your puff vinyl, I suggest a pressing pillow or an extra mat just to have that, get that pressure up, okay? So we've gone over our supplies: mat, puff vinyl, shirt. Real hard, guys, real hard. We have set our heat press to the exact temperature that our puff vinyl said. For the Hobby Lobby brand, we have set it to 284. For other brands, I know that we have a video comparing, 3 StarCraft, TechWrap, Caesar puff vinyl. You can check that out if you want to know more. We even have a puff vinyl reference guide, guys. Do we not?
We
on
do.
Our website.
We sure do.
We have a puff vinyl reference guide that you can check out if you get a different brand than the one that we are working with today. So with all of that being said, let's go ahead and hop over to our share screen, and we are going to start the process of adding our words to our shirt. Okay, so the font that we're going to be using today, Cricut has already told me that we don't have it on this computer. We're going to go back to Maker's Gonna Learn. I say back, we've not been there today. We are going to go to Maker's Gonna Learn. And the first thing that I want to do is I'm going to come over here to my dashboard, and I'm going to show you guys that puff vinyl reference sheet. This is a portion of the website that I feel like more people need to take advantage of. First of all is your dashboard. Here, you're going to find so many things here in your dashboard, but our resource library. What I wanted to show you guys is this puff vinyl reference sheet, which we actually we might need to update since we have used this 405 and the Super
The
Puff.
metallic, yeah.
The metallic Super Puff. So we will update that pretty quick. But we have the 3 brands that we initially started out trying was a Caesar, TechWrap, StarCraft. You have your heat settings here and your cut settings here, and then your heat settings, guys. Look how easy. We did it for you. So if you lose your stuff, you can come back here. Love that. So let's go back this way. And we are going to go to our font section. So when choosing a font for this, I highly suggest, yes, tool and vinyl supply. First of all, I would like to order some more from Tool and Vinyl. They're the ones that carry the Super Puff, but I've also heard a lot of people talk about Atlanta Vinyl Company.
Yes.
If anybody in here, if anybody on our live has used Atlanta Vinyl Company, I have heard and I have seen posts about their puff being phenomenal, like their regular standard puff being really good.
Okay.
So we will add that to our list, guys.
Yeah.
Okay. So, back to our share screen. For this specific one, I think it's going to look the best if you have a somewhat of a thicker font, but also we're looking at more of like a serif style font. So what I mean by a serif style font, you see how this has like the little, I'll make it bigger so we can explain. And Alicia, you're the font queen, so if I'm explaining this wrong, tell me. I'm trying to open this up so we can look at it.
Okay.
Oh, everybody's saying Atlanta Vinyl is amazing.
Okay, well, we need to order some then, or order something from them.
I know.
Are y'all just using their puff vinyl, or are you using regular vinyl?
I'm curious. Okay, so what I mean by serif, do y'all see at the bottom of these letters how there's like a little table, I guess you could say, like a little shelf at the bottom of and tops of these? That's what I'm looking for. That's a serif font. So you want somewhat of a thicker font. We were going for a serif. Now, is that what you have to do? No, guys, you can do whatever you want. You do what tickles your fancy. But I'm just showing you how we went through. I thought like this one might be cute, but then there's all those little things in the middle, so I didn't much care for that.
You gotta think, like, when you put this puff on there, it's gonna blow up, so any details kind of disappear unless they're big details, like big prominent, like if you use like Saturday night, or where it has like the curlies, like they're so big that you can notice the detail. But if you're using something like Dapper, all of those little serifs are gonna disappear.
I was about to say, in Dapper, all of the little inside pieces, even if you weeded those out, your puff is gonna puff up to where it doesn't even look like there's anything there.
Yeah.
Okay. Atticus is another one that you have to kind of be careful with. These letters over here look great, but that A has such a small opening inside the A. Like, you just have to be careful with which types of fonts that you pick for with puff vinyl. But one cool thing you can do about our website is you can type out what you want your shirt to say, and I want it to be in all caps, so I'm just gonna go ahead and type it in all caps, and you can scroll down here and pick which font you want to use. I love doing that instead of trying to imagine what a font would look like. So that's what I did for this. Substantial was the font that we went with this specific project. So to download a font from our website, what you're going to do is you're going to click this arrow pointing down here. What it's going to then do is it's going to download on, maybe, where is it going? It's taking it forever today.
Is it just sitting in your downloads, in your Finder?
I don't even think it's done that. See, it's still loading in the top.
That's weird.
I know. So anyway, I'm going to wait on that. I'm going to see if it's in my Finder. Downloads? No.
Recents?
It's not even there.
Wonder why it's taking forever.
I don't know. Oh, okay. Now let's try to, am I signed in? Yep. Download. Oh, there it goes.
Interesting.
We might have to have somebody look at that.
I'll just say I'm on Atlanta Vinyl right now, just perusing, and they have the Gildan heavy cotton t-shirts for $3.62. Like blank Gildan t-shirts.
That's a good deal.
And their hoodies are $12.99. Yeah, that's very cheap. And Gildan's good.
There you go, guys.
Yep.
Okay, so back in Design Space, one thing that if you are new here, if you've just downloaded a font onto your computer, Design Space is not going to recognize that font. So let me show you what I mean. If I go up here to font and go to my system fonts, and I know I want to use the substantial font, I'm gonna start typing in that word. You see there's no search results for that, right? So what you have to do is you have to make sure that you save your project first, come up here to view, you're gonna reload Design Space. What that is going to do, and we're just gonna hit save. What that is gonna do is that is going to recognize all of the new fonts that you have downloaded onto your computer. So now you can find all of your fonts in the system fonts. So what we're gonna do now, go back to text. We're gonna go to our fonts, over here to our systems. Now this time, when I search for substantial, it pops up right there. Beautiful. So now all we have to do is type in our word. And now you can see they look a little bit different, don't they? Mm-hmm. I will show you what we did. So once you have sized your word up, down, whatever, we're gonna go overhead and we are going to measure the area that we want to work with. Now, for this specific project, you can actually do it longer than 12 inches if you want to, because you'll just have to use a 12 by 24 inch mat. Because it is so skinny, if you want it to be longer, perfect. That would be phenomenal. So what we're gonna do is we're just going to measure the area that we have to work with. Another thing you really want to be conscious about when you are putting words on a shirt is, are you making this shirt for a female, or are you making this shirt for someone who has a larger chest? Let's just say that. Are you making this shirt for someone who has a larger chest, or someone who does not have a large chest? That has a lot to do with the placement and how big I make something. Mm-hmm. If I was making it for myself, I'm actually gonna go probably about 10 to 11 inches at most. Just because if I get past that, it's gonna start like running under my arms, which is not a cute look.
Right.
So you just kind of have to be aware about those things. Generally speaking, this is a size large shirt. You know what? I think it's gonna look really good sitting around 10 and a half or 11. I mean, if you wanted to go up to 11 and a half, you can, but I don't think we're gonna need the 12 by 24 inch mat, okay?
Yep.
So once we have the length that we know our word can be, we're gonna go back to Design Space. Here we have it, it is 12 and a half. We're gonna bring it down to about, we'll go ahead and bring it down to about 11 and a half or so. But one thing that I did do that, guys, I feel like I have talked about it, it's a cardinal rule.
I already know what you're doing. I already know.
I did unlock it and I stretched this bad boy just a little bit. But
It doesn't look bad.
But this font, I feel like can take it.
You can.
I'm not stretching it a lot, but I wanted it to be, because it was like 1.5 inches tall. I wanted it to be at least 2 inches, which is about right there.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that looks good.
Yeah, it doesn't look bad. I wouldn't have known.
See,
You know, some fonts you can really tell.
Some fonts
Like
you
scripts,
can tell.
you can tell
Yes.
really a lot, but
yes. So anyway, this is, I'm just gonna hide this old guy. And we're gonna use the new guy, because that is the width I want it. So once you're done there, guys, that super hard tutorial today in Design Space. You've downloaded a font and typed out your word.
yep, that's it.
That's it. That's literally all we're doing. Now we're gonna go to make it. Now from there, we're gonna mirror our design, because we are cutting it on heat transfer vinyl. Then we're gonna go to continue. We are using our Explore Series 3 machine today. And we'll just go ahead and go overhead. Let me move this out of the way. Oh no, I might have to use this mat. It's sad that we went and bought a bunch of mats. I don't want to say it because I don't want to jinx us.
I don't like opening the new mats. I'm like, no, I don't want to.
Okay, one thing that I want to show you guys. First of all, what have we in the past always said when it comes to heat transfer vinyl? What have we said about the shiny side and the matte side? We have always said shiny side down.
Yes.
Because 9 times out of 10, the shiny side has been the carrier sheet.
Right.
This is something that I feel like everybody needs to start checking, and something that I feel like everybody needs to start getting it in your head. We're not saying shiny side down anymore. And the reason that I say this is because Mary Catherine, who has been with us forever, she has just started like prepping more of our projects, like helping us in the craft room, which she's not done a lot of. Mm-hmm. So she said, oh, this is HTV. It goes shiny side down, right? And she went like this and she plopped it down. I was like, yep, you know what? That's normally what we do say. Mm-hmm. But I want you guys to look at this. This is why I want every one of us to get out of the habit of shiny side down. Here is our shiny side. Here is our matte side. Are y'all seeing this?
Yeah.
Look.
They trick ya.
The matte side is the carrier sheet. So with this one, we can't say shiny side down. I can't even. There we go. Carrier sheet is the matte side. Puff vinyl is the shiny side.
Yep. And that's been pretty much across the board for all the puff vinyls that we've used.
That has been across the board for all puff vinyls. You are correct.
That we've used so far.
Yes, it's just, it's been one of those things. One of them, though, I feel like did have a shiny carrier sheet, but I don't remember who it was.
We've done Tech Wrap, StarCraft, Caesar, and 405. Was it Tech Wrap?
Tech Wrap was one that you pressed twice, wasn't it?
One of them, yeah. So a couple of these puff vinyls you have to press twice.
Yeah.
Which are the ones I don't like to use.
I'm not a big fan of...
One and done for me. That's why I like Caesar so much, which y'all know that. We love Caesar. But this 405, it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
I mean, it's getting the job done. It looks good. It was one of those that we could go pick it up. Mm-hmm. So
yeah, it's right up the street from us.
Yep. Yeah, you can label them. Donna says after we told them that she checks every single one. I mean, you have to anymore.
Yeah. And I'll say
HTV Ront is very bad. No, I won't say
you took the words right out of my mouth.
I won't say it's not that it's bad vinyl. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that it is notorious for it being different.
It's a combination of either matte or shiny carrier sheets. And you just can't know unless you look.
Yep. Okay, so all I'm doing is cutting this on everyday iron on default pressure. First thing I'm gonna need is a, oh, here's one, just kidding. I was about to say a blade.
Oops.
Oh, nope, there's not one in there.
It's not in the thing?
Nope, because there was not a blade in your machine earlier and Mary Catherine needed to use your machine.
My machine didn't have a blade?
Your machine did not have a blade.
Interesting.
Interesting.
BRB.
I struggled with Caesar vinyl on what side to cut. Once I figured it out, yeah, you really have to check. You have to check every single one now. It's just like, I don't know. I'm gonna go ahead and load this while we're waiting on. I'm gonna go ahead and unload it too. It loaded.
Over there.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and put this bad guy in there and press the play button.
Alrighty.
Now, while that is cutting, I'm gonna take the tag off this and I'm gonna pre-press our shirt for a couple reasons, okay? First reason I want to pre-press my shirt is I want to get the wrinkles out. Like, I don't want there to be any wrinkles when I lay down my puff vinyl. But the next reason that I really like pre-pressing my shirt is because I like getting all of the extra moisture out of the fabric. And that really helps adhere your HTV down a lot better. If you get that moisture out of your, out of the fabric, it adheres. The adhesion on the fibers are better.
Do you think if there's moisture in there, it's not gonna adhere as well? Like,
Yeah.
that just makes sense, you know?
So we're just giving it a quick little pre-press.
A little tap tap.
A little tap tap. Doesn't have to be very long. You can see it got the wrinkles out. It's good. It's warm. Love it. Okay. I just went all out and didn't even check to see if it cut. I just unloaded immediately.
YOLO.
YOLO. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut across. Guys, I can't see this. Okay, we're good. We're good.
It is hard to see. Listen, we've got some pup vinyl out there, like colors that I really want to use. I just need to make it. We bought shirts. We've like made a plan to make shirts to wear when we film and stuff, and I feel like they're just sitting out there not being made.
Mm-hmm.
I bought some like cobalt blue to put on a gray sweatshirt. Never made it. Never made it.
I think we ended up having to use the gray sweatshirt for something else too.
Did we?
Maybe we didn't.
You can, if you can weed it, use what you can to weed it. I used a stick pin for years upon years to weed. So I didn't even know weeding tools were a thing until about 2.5 years ago.
Well, there you go.
So you can really grow far in a couple years.
You can really
evolve.
You can evolve. That's for sure. Okay. So we have our cute little homebody word weeded out.
Cutesy.
There you go. Can you see it better there? Mm-hmm. Love it, love it. Okay. So now what I'm going to do, there it is. I've got a t-shirt ruler. I'm going to place the t-shirt ruler in the middle. Now, one thing that I love to do, and we're going to go back overhead. I love to take my design, whether it's words, whatever, and I'm going to line up the very edge of that word, and I'm going to crease this right here in the middle. Okay? Y'all see this? Now I have a crease exactly where the middle point of this is. Now I did not crease up here at the E. I actually creased this above it and this below it. I don't want to crease my actual vinyl. It looks like it's creased, but it's not. So now what I can do with that middle point is I can bring it back over here and I can line it up with the center line on your t-shirt ruler.
Easy peasy.
Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Now this, honestly, it stays down. If you want to use some heat tape, you can. You do not have to. I am, however, first of all, going to check this for sublimation.
For anything.
Literally for anything. The only reason I'm doing this is because if this was not a white shirt, if this was black, I would press it no problem. Mm-hmm. I don't know what is on the top of this press. So
just
we're protecting.
Safety first.
Safety first, always. This is I'm pretty sure it's a 10-second press, but let me double check. Listen, even the experts revert back to instructions, guys. Don't be so ashamed that you won't revert back to instructions.
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
10 seconds. I wanted to double check myself. So 10 seconds, 284, very firm pressure.
Beautiful.
And literally no more than 10 seconds. Like, I need to stop talking so I can watch this.
And listen, if you all saying so you can have some Makers Gonna Learn merch in your craft room. So
And then we'll bring it over here. And ta-da!
I love how the transfer sheet just comes right off with puff
I know.
vinyl. It just flops off.
It just flops off.
Yeah, it totally
It
detaches.
completely flops off. Now, this is a pretty good puff. I feel like this is a pretty good puff. I am going to grab one real quick that I actually did too low of a temperature on, and I want to show you what it looks like if something is too low. It's not that it doesn't look bad, guys. It is just this, I want you all to see the difference, okay? So, this one right here, can they see this, Sadie? This, it has puffed. It does not look bad. It was too low of a temperature. And you can see that because it's just not puffed near as much. Like you can't see it from the side. I don't know. Anyway, this means your temperature is too low. Now, if it starts flattening back out from this portion of it being brained up, then your temperature is way too hot. And you've just gone straight through. Does the puff crack after washing? I personally have not I've not had any issues with puff that I have a t-shirt. The purple MGL shirt. I don't know if you all have seen it. Sometimes on videos I'll wear, it's a purple short sleeve shirt and it has white MGL with like the middle out of it. That's a puff shirt that we did the very first time we did puff.
It was like our first trial.
It was like the very first time we did puff. Y'all, I've worn that shirt so many times, washed it so many times, no issues.
Me neither. And you know, I hear a lot of people that are like, my puff vinyl never stays on, and like, I don't know if it's the type you're using or maybe the adhesion process that you're using, but I think that brand definitely plays a role. Are you pre-pressing the moisture out of your shirt so that you get better adherence? Like, there's so many different things that go into puff. Like, you kind of have to practice and like perfect it. So if you find you're having issues, keep changing stuff until you get the right formula for whatever vinyl you're using.
Yeah, you definitely can't see that from the front.
It's so cute.
It's so cute, though.
I love it. I love it.
Oh.
So I'm like just obsessed with this. I like rhinestones. I'm not like, let me put rhinestones on everything unless it's like Vols or like football, because I feel like I can be gaudy. This isn't even gaudy. This is like good. This is so cute. Like
super cool.
This is a small, first of all, so I'm gonna hold it out here. So this is what we're making. Let's go overhead and I'll show you guys close up. Are you kidding me? Look at this.
It looks so good.
I know, and even from like the further away it is, the more dazzling it is. I think it's beautiful. This is such an easy to achieve look without going through the hassle of rhinestones. And I wish, Lauren, can you hand me that other shirt? I'm gonna show you all. So I did some trial and error because originally I thought I'm gonna use Electrofoil on this, and I actually had to update the supply list for y'all this morning because I was like, oh my gosh, my Electrofoil supplies are still on there. Now this is the original shirt that I made. Look at this. I want to show you all. So this is HTV and Electrofoil. It's pretty. Don't get me wrong. Like, it doesn't look bad, but I just had issues. I'm going to put them beside each other so y'all can really get a side-by-side look at these. So this one, sorry, I'm out of breath. This one right here, this is the Electrofoil. So originally, I had to go in here, weed out all of these little dots on this font. It was like such a hassle to do that. And I was like applying Electrofoil on top of the HTV. It was sticking in places that I didn't want it to. You can see there's like, maybe you all can't see that. It's like shiny around the black, like up here. It doesn't look bad, but that's not where I wanted my Electrofoil. And I was like, that is just not it for me. Like, it just wasn't working. And we were talking about this on the live, and someone said, and if this is you and you're here, tell me, I use the holographic mosaic iron-on from Cricut. And I was like, what the heck are you talking about? So I got on in the interwebs, and I was like, I'm gonna look at this stuff. I'm gonna show you guys what this is right here.
It feels so cool.
It does. It feels crazy. Look at this. Would y'all? I'm gonna give you a close up. Okay. Look how pretty. So what they've done here is taken a holographic vinyl and they've cut it into circles. So you can see in the back better the circles. And these give that rhinestone effect. And the reason that we want to use this is because it's just going to be so much easier. Like, you cut this like everyday iron on basically. It needs a little bit more pressure because it's thicker, but we don't have to go through the hassle of, like, can you imagine going through and weeding out every single one of these dots just to apply electrofoil on it? No, we don't want to do that. So I'm going to show you all exactly how to achieve this look. So you're going to need the holographic, I'm trying to think of the full name, holographic, mosaic, iron-on, I don't know. It's
Alicia,
linked
is
below
it
for you
linked below?
guys.
Yeah, I was like, it's linked. You're good.
It's linked for you guys. And then I've just got a Comfort Colors t-shirt. You can really apply this to whatever type of shirt you want. This is just 100% cotton cropped Comfort Colors shirt. I've got a orange. This is a Tennessee orange. You can use whatever colors you want. And then I also have just a white. These are both Soft Flex HTV. Actually, this one is Soft Flex. This is just a regular white HTV, and I've linked them below for you all. And then I also have a standard grip mat, and I've got some washi tape and a measuring tape. So you really don't need a lot of supplies. You're obviously going to need like a weeding tool. Let me grab one. Just like a standard weeding tool will be fine. And then we can go ahead and jump into Design Space.
Woohoo!
Yes. Okay, so we are here in Design Space. This is my original design, but what we're gonna do is we need to upload the font Pharaoh. Now it's already on here. I'm just gonna walk you all through quickly how to do that because the tutorial is really not that super long. So we'll just go to our fonts. This is on the Makers Gonna Learn website. If you're brand new here, we are a membership-based crafting community, and so when you become a member with Makers Gonna Learn, you're gonna get access to all these fonts and cut files. Let me get his logged in really quick. But today we're using a font called Pharaoh. This is one of my favorite fonts. Do I say that every time? Probably. But I just do. I just love this font. It's kind of retro, which is what I was wanting, like a retro football font. And you can even test out what word you want before you download the font, which is really nice. So you don't have to go through the hassle of like downloading 50 fonts and then just picking one. You can test it on the website before you actually download it. So it's not like bogging down your computer or anything. So I'm just gonna type out what I want, vols. I already know it's gonna look good, but I just wanna show y'all. And then you can see here, we get like a little preview.
I love the preview.
I know, me too, it's my favorite. So now I'm just gonna download the font. I'm going to double click this zip folder. And then, where'd she go? Here we go. So it's gonna pull into this .otf. I'm gonna double click that and then install font. Okay. And now we're just gonna need to go back to Design Space and reload Design Space. So I'm gonna hit View, Reload, and then our font should be in Design Space for us. So I've just pulled in my word that I want, and I'm gonna go up here to my font. Now, if you go into your Cricut fonts, you're not gonna find it there. Your downloaded fonts are gonna go automatically to your system, and then you can just type out the name of the font, and it's gonna be right there. Now, I'm just gonna size it down for the time being. And let's look at our design again overhead. So I wanted to create something that kind of had an outline. So we have 3 layers of vinyl here. We've got an orange layer that's behind our holographic dots. We have the holographic dots layer, and then we have our white outline layer. So back in Design Space, we are just gonna need to create those layers. Now you can see right here, we have already done that, but all I did was select my text, okay? We're gonna go up here to offset. I'm gonna make, that's a little bit big of a gap. Let's do a 0.15 offset. That looks good.
That looks great.
I'm gonna hit apply. I'm not gonna click off of it. We're gonna add another offset here.
So you're offsetting your offset.
Yes.
Love it.
It's like a double offset. And then what we're gonna need to do is slice the offsets out from each other. So you can see over here, I've got these 2 right here. I've got one selected. You can see it's selected over here. I'm gonna hold the shift key down, select the other one, and we are going to hit exclude, okay? And so now we have our, I'm gonna color code them just so y'all can like really see what's going on. Why did it do that?
Yeah, send it to the front.
Okay, hold on. Let's re-exclude those. Okay. When I select this, it's because I'm excluding it.
Yeah.
Okay, let's not do that because I don't want to do that. So what we're gonna do instead is slice. I'm gonna select offset. We're gonna slice that out. And then you can see I've got some extra layers I don't need. I'm gonna delete those. Okay, now I can color my layers how I want and it's not gonna turn gray.
Right.
So this vase, I want it to be orange. I like to keep my stuff color coded because then I know what needs to be cut out of what. While that orange layer is selected, we're gonna duplicate it because that's gonna be our holographic layer. I'm gonna change it to just like a light gray. And then our slice result, this outline layer, that is gonna be cut out of white vinyl. So I'm gonna change that to white.
Okay. It looks totally different when it's like a different color. You know what I mean?
know.
Like white makes it look.
Yeah, and even if it helps you, especially in the design process, change the color of your background to the color of your shirt. So we're doing a dark gray shirt.
Oh, wow.
So, and like, it's popping.
I love that.
It's popping. Yeah, Lauren's
love
giving
it.
chef's kiss.
I love that.
I love orange on dark gray. It just
Yeah.
looks so good. So the only other thing, and if you all can spot the difference, leave it in the comments. What is the difference between this and this?
Oh, we've already had someone. Yeah, Jill.
Oh, Jill saw it?
She said,
She's on it.
why didn't you read the O in between the L and the S, Alicia?
Oh, okay. That's not the difference that I was talking about,
Oh.
but that's a valid point also. So the reason that is the way it is because of the sizes of my offset, if that makes sense. So it just was closer together. I probably just used a slightly different number whenever I did my offset for this one. But like, that's why it's just a little bit different. So like I could have used like a 0.18 rather than a 0.15 or,
Yeah.
So it was a little bit skinnier, which gave us like a whole outline inside of that O. It's okay. For me, it's okay. For me, it looks fine. The other difference though that I was talking about is that this S and this L, they're like trying to cut through. And I don't know if it's this font in particular, but when I go to actually cut it, it was cutting my individual letters. Do you guys see? Let me zoom in so you can really see.
Oh, wow.
Okay, you see the black lines. So we talked about this a couple live streams ago, how you don't have to unite your script fonts anymore. Like Cricut does it for you normally. But for some reason with this font, when I went to cut it, it was cutting my individual letters, like where the black line is. It was cutting that and I didn't want it to. So it's an easy fix. You can just unite everything and it's gonna be totally fine. So all I do is select whichever one I want. I'm gonna go to combine and unite. And then you can see those lines disappear. And I'm gonna do that with the orange layer as well. Let's see. I wanna make sure I'm not clicking. There we go. I'm gonna go combine and unite. So now I know that it's one solid piece. I don't want any random cut lines on this, okay?
Yeah.
So that's all that we need. We just need those 3 layers. Excuse me. I'm gonna go ahead and delete these. Now before we cut anything, we need to make sure that our sizing is right. So let's go overhead and we'll measure our t-shirt. I'm just gonna lay this out and let me see. What is it? I'm looking for the mini easy press.
Oh, is it in the drawer?
Oh, maybe. We have like ran out of mini easy presses. So
Lauren's
they
go grab the
float.
mini. Yeah, she's go grab
Lauren's
that
gonna
for
get
you.
it. Okay, perfect. So what we're gonna do here is just measure out the area that we want for our t-shirt. Now, if you have a t-shirt guide and you wanna use that, you totally can. This font is a little bit weird in that, like, you can see it kind of sticks out. Thank you. It kind of sticks out over here. And so I like to more eyeball where this font goes in terms of like centering it and stuff. But we do just want to make sure that we are taking up as much space as we can. I like my decals on my shirts to be like as big as possible. I want them to be like filling up as big as, you know, that looks good. So I'm going to say for this one, you don't want to go too far because, you know, if we go in 14 inches, you've got to think, especially if a woman is wearing this, it's going to go off of the edges. So,
Well, Cricut, you know, 14 inches for a regular 12 by 12 mat would also be.
it would be
hard.
too big, right? So I'm thinking like 9 inches.
Cool.
Will be good. Okay, so let's go back into design space. And I am just going to select both of these and let's go. It's already at 8.9.
Yay.
Heck, I mean, we can just round it up to 9 just to be finicky, but we're already where we need to be. And then what we need to do is just go to make it. Okay, so all of this is being cut out on heat transfer vinyl, meaning everything's gonna need to be mirrored. Everything needs to be mirrored. All of our vinyl needs to go carrier sheet side down. So let's go ahead and make sure to mirror all of these. And it's wanting us to start with our white layer. I'm gonna go ahead and select continue. And we are using an Explore today. Let me turn it on. And we can go ahead and put our white vinyl on our mats. We'll scooch this over. Okay. So this is just standard.
Just regular white HTV?
Yeah, just standard white HTV. I like the soft, I prefer the soft flex when I'm doing t-shirts because it kind of bends and flexes with the shirt, which is what it's meant for.
Right.
But this works just fine. And it's only the outline anyways, so I'm just going to burnish this down and trim it off.
Yes,
Go
we are we've won one game.
Okay, before I pull it off, I'm gonna make sure that it weeded out correctly because I really don't want to pull it up if it's not cut. Okay, beautiful. Now we are going to cut our orange layer. Listen, y'all, I'm using a little bit of a cracked mat, but it's getting the job done for me.
You're doing what?
This mat's a little cracked.
Oh, it's okay.
She's a little cracked, but
It's fine.
she works, you know?
Yeah.
I'll use a cracked mat for like a week. If it's sticky enough, I'll just keep using it. I'm like, whatever works, you know? They don't have to be thrown out yet. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and do this one because we have different cut settings for our holographic vinyl, and I'll show you guys that. Go ahead and slide this in. Okay. Now, if we can go overhead, I'm gonna show you all, you're gonna wanna be careful when you're weeding this white layer, mainly because we're not weeding, we're needing to keep the outline. So oh, so you can see it better? Yeah, that's a good idea. I'm gonna pull this over here so y'all can see what the heck I'm doing. Okay. So, I don't want to weed out, and let me start so you all can be like, knowing what I'm talking about. I don't want to weed out the outline. I want to weed out what is inside of the outline. So I'm just taking my weeding tool and pulling up all these inside layers, okay? So we're just pulling this up, and then we're going to pull up everything around it too. And I went ahead and turned my mini easy press onto the medium heat setting. So she is heating up right now. Okay.
Love it.
And then I just need to, I'm gonna cut off this edge over here because we don't really need it. Throw her in the scrap pile. And then we're gonna weed out this layer right here. And this will leave us just with the outline. I'm a really aggressive weeder. It makes people nervous. I'm sorry. Especially with HTV, I'm kind of rough on it. Okay, so then you're just left with this. Cute, right?
It's awesome.
Then we just need our orange layer. I'm like looking for my scissors and they're literally right here.
Kim says my mat is cracked too. I just turned it upside down. I love that.
Yeah. Reduce, reuse, recycle, people.
Yes.
Okay, and you can use a paper trimmer to trim this vinyl as well if you like to keep a good straight line. But we're okay with it this way. And then now we're just going to weed everything around it as well as the middles of our letters. So I'm going to go ahead and start with the middles of my letters. Just the O and the S.
Now, what do you think about weeding? Wait, so you weed inners first?
I don't have it. I'm not consistent.
Really?
I will sometimes weed inners first and sometimes I won't.
I find it fascinating. Let us know in the comments, do you weed the inside pieces first or the outside pieces. I am definitely an outside piece person. I feel like it's just easier for my brain to comprehend.
I feel like that would make more sense.
Yeah.
To do it the other
I think
way.
it's just fascinating to see someone do it not that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm very much just like doing whatever I feel in the moment.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I have a consistent way of doing it. Okay, so we're just taking all of this stuff out. Okay.
Amanda says it depends. Okay, Gail says she weeds the small stuff first. I'm getting a lot of friends that also do outsides first.
I can see why you would want to weed the outside first, so you kind of have like a direction of where to go.
Oh my gosh,
you know what I'm saying?
Kelsey hit it. She said outside first because it gives you the quick gratification. Exactly. Denise said it varies for her.
Yeah, me too. It definitely varies for me.
Lauren, which one do you do first? Outside. Okay, Lauren also does the outside first.
Because, especially with that outline, outside first tells me the next layer has to stay into the layer inside.
Yeah, I love
yeah.
it. The outside just, when you do the outside, it just like cleans up so much for you, so you can just like really focus in on what's left.
Right.
Yeah. So
Listen, that's cute, y'all.
That
That's
looks
cute just
really
like that.
good.
That's cute. Okay, so, but we're not done.
But wait, there's more.
There's more. Okay, so I want to talk about this vinyl really fast because it doesn't come like this. It comes on a roll, and I don't know where the roll went because this is just like the end of the roll, but it has like a paper, almost like a parchment paper. Wouldn't you say it was like kind of a parchment paper feel layer? Just like you don't need it. Okay, just take it off. I was very confused because the instructions were like confusing. Just take it off. You don't need it. All you need is this layer. This just feels like a really thick HTV, and we are going to be cutting it from the back side as if we were cutting heat transfer vinyl. Now, there are two carrier sheets basically on this. And it'll make more sense whenever we actually go to peel them off. But you are gonna put this on a mat as if you were putting on heat transfer vinyl. So we're gonna put it shiny side down. So our holographic is gonna be looking at our mat. And I'm actually gonna use the bottom portion of this mat just because this is thicker and it is cracked over here. I'm gonna take this, there's like a little piece of tape on here. I thought I turned my Easy Press on. Let me turn it on really fast. I'm putting it on the medium heat setting. Okay. So not much different than regular HTV. And then I'm just going to line this up, okay? And where it's thicker, it's gonna try to curl up. This is where your washi tape comes in handy. I'm gonna tape this all the way on all four sides so that it's not moving when we go to cut it. So you can use painter's tape, masking tape, whatever you have.
Yeah.
Washi
something
tape's-
to secure it down.
Yes. Washi tape is just really good for...
It's not going to damage anything.
Right, and it's not like super sticky or anything like that. Okay. We don't want this to move, if at all possible. All right. And I did get this at Walmart. Like, we just ran to Walmart and got some the other day.
The t-shirt or?
The holographic vinyl.
Oh, okay.
Cricut vinyl.
At Walmart.
At Walmart.
No way.
Yeah, and I didn't know this, but Walmart has Caesar vinyl.
Yeah, they do.
Like, what have I been doing? I always order it from 143.
Yeah.
And I was at Walmart the other day, and I was like, that's straight up Caesar vinyl. They had it like all on sale. And I was like, what am I doing? I need to get my life together.
Yeah.
Okay, so she's on here, and I'm just gonna gently braid this down. Now let's go back to Design Space and go to Browse All Material Settings. This is where we're gonna search for holographic. We should have a setting in here. Okay, holographic. There's a lot of holographics, yes. There's holographic iron-on mosaic, holographic sparkle iron-on, holographic sparkle iron-on mosaic. This is the one that I use, the holographic iron-on Mosaic. So I'm gonna hit done. This applies much more pressure than just say regular everyday iron-on. And let me show you how I know that. So I'm gonna go back to browse all materials. Let's go to material settings, and I'm gonna show you all what everyday iron-on cuts at. So normal heat transfer vinyl is at 113, okay? If we wanted to do the holographic iron-on, it goes at 268.
Whoa.
So the pressure is way, way higher, okay? So that's why you have to pay attention. Even if I chose holographic sparkle iron-on, we're still not gonna have as much pressure as we need.
Yeah.
So we're going with the holographic iron-on Mosaic. I'm just gonna X off of this, and we're gonna keep it on default pressure, okay? And make sure that your image is mirrored, which we already did. And we're gonna send this through the cutter. Now this is one that you're definitely gonna wanna make sure that it cut before you take it off of the Cricut, because this vinyl is not cheap, and you don't wanna like go wasting a whole bunch of it. I wasted some and it hurt my soul inside. So oh no, my vinyl came up. Let's take that out and fix it real quick. I'm gonna have to tape my corners down because I think it
sounded like
it got caught on the little.
It was really thick.
The little blade. Sometimes these corners can get caught up, and we'll just run it back through. Hopefully that will keep it down, keep it secured. Okay. I mean, it looks crazy, but it's gonna get the job done. You know what I'm saying?
Heck yeah.
All right, send it through. Making sure in Design Space I'm on my gray layer.
Correct matte, yeah.
Correct matte, all of that. Okay, let's see.
What color do you call this? Crystal says she's on the website and there's 3 colors.
Okay, I've linked this below for you all. So select the one in the description of the video because there's like holographic sparkle. There's like a couple very similar ones, and there's also square. So make sure you're getting the round one.
So this is the Mosaic Circles Silver.
Silver, yes.
Yeah, Mosaic Circles Silver.
Okay, I think that we're good. It's cut. So let's pull it out. And I'm going to trim off the excess because like I said, I want to save what I can because I would like to use this later on too.
Now, Alicia, tell me how this is weeding.
I'm about to show you because it was like tripping us up a little bit the other day. I was like, is there an extra layer on here? I'm trying to cut this without cutting the design. Okay, I think I can see it. Yes, I can. What's nice is these circles line up, so I can just go kind of straight across here.
And have a perfect line.
Yeah. Okay, now we're just gonna be weeding off the excess. I'm gonna cut this little guy right here off. So I'm just weeding this as if I were weeding HTV, and you can see when I start weeding it, it kind of will tear. This is why you want to make sure that you get a cut all the way through, because sometimes it'll kind of tear, and if it's not cut all the way through, it'll like rip into your word, if that makes sense. So I'm just gonna weed off all this excess here, being very careful. Now you can see right here, it didn't cut great, but it did cut. I don't know if y'all can tell. Can you kind of tell where it's lifting?
Yeah, it makes me nervous watching it on screen.
It makes me nervous watching over here, yeah.
Yeah, so that's why you need to just kind of take your time on this. I'm bad for not taking my time, but I'm going to take my time on this one because I want it to be successful. So,
would you say, like, just a few disclaimers, if this was even the easiest thing to cut and weed, you would not want to do an intricate image. Does anyone know why? If you did a small, intricate image, you wouldn't even be able to tell that it's rhinestone.
Right.
So notice, we picked an image where it's thick. We can see all the, the different layers and levels and things like that. Super, super important to be aware of that.
That's a good point to make. And so I feel like this cut relatively well. It could have cut a little bit better, but you can see that this material is kind of, obviously like the pressure needed to be much higher than normal everyday iron-on. And so if for some reason I felt like it didn't cut well, I could have sent it through the cutter one more time and it would have been perfect. But it cut mostly how I needed it to. But I am still going to be very careful.
And Crystal, if it's sold out at Cricut.com, guess what? We have it linked for you down below at Walmart, and it's in stock.
And they may even just like have it at your store. You can run and get it.
Yep.
That's why I like using the Walmart app, because they'll tell me like what aisle it's on and everything.
Yes.
Okay, so we're just taking all this off. It takes a second. So you could do this on whatever word that y'all wanted. You could do it on just like a monogram, would be so cute. I don't know. If you guys create this and you're in our Facebook group, please post a picture. I would love to see
a monogram.
Yeah, a monogram would look bomb.com. I'm going to use a pen tool to get in the middle of this out right here, because for some reason
So Donna says, which is better, cutting a second time through or adding more instead of default pressure? So Donna, when you're at the option to choose more pressure, here's what you need to know. It's one of those things, you don't know what you don't know.
Right.
So at that point in the craft, you haven't cut anything. You don't know how well it cuts. So with that in consideration, I would say I would rather cut it at regular pressure, test the weeding before I unload it, and if necessary, give it a little bit more, just let it cut it through once again.
Yes, and then the next time, if you just want to go ahead and add more pressure, you can know like, oh, I'm going to need more pressure. And if you need to adjust that cut setting, you can go into your material settings and adjust the cut setting too.
Yes.
And that way, next time you go to cut it, you don't have to add more pressure or have to cut it twice.
And again, with these thicker materials, you want to be careful to make sure your blade is, fresh and clean, and there's no debris on it and things like that.
I'm just getting in here with this pen tool because sometimes the weeding tool which that's a very well-loved weeding tool.
It is.
Sometimes the weeding tool will pluck just the holographic pieces off, and I need it to like get under the plastic. I don't want to just take off those holographic pieces. So that's why the pen tool is just a very fine point needle on the tip of this little pin, and it allows more precision. Okay, that's everything. Look how cute.
Oh.
Hopefully my head was like not in the front of y'all the entire time. Okay, now we have all of our layers. What I'm gonna do is start with my white layer, okay? So I'm just gonna separate these. We've got all 3 layers. I already have a crease down the middle of my shirt that I can see. That might help y'all. But if you didn't, you can always take your shirt. This is just something that we like to do here to make sure our designs are lined up. I'm gonna take the shirt, fold it directly in half, and then take my easy press and just kind of press up here towards the top. And this is gonna give us a crease that's lining up with our tag, so we know it's right in the middle.
Yeah, it's such a great hack.
Perfect. And you just need a little press with your little mini easy press. I had a friend purchasing a press, and she was like, which press? Which clamshell press? And I was like, girl, get you a mini easy press. And she like wanted to get the 12x10 Cricut press. And I was like, no, girl, no. Yeah. I said, do you know that I do Cricut crafts every day and I use this mini easy press?
It's hard to explain to people that are new why the mini easy press is goals.
She ended up getting a 9x9. I talked her down to a 9x9. But I was like, do not get a 12x10.
Granted, I have not used a 9x9 in so long, but I would use, I'll retract. I think we're all here in the office blessed by our clamshell.
We are blessed
that we'll just turn it. I mean, our clamshell, y'all, it has like an extension cord on it. It's got a
It's on a rolly cart.
It's on wheels. So we love the clamshell.
Right.
I used to use the 9x9 so much before I got the clamshell. clamshell.
Did you? Okay.
Oh,
well,
yeah.
Then she probably made the right decision.
I think so.
Because she was like, the mini press just seems so small. I'm like, girl. Well, what are you making that so big? You're making onesies for your sister. I'm like, I got you. You just need a mini easy press. But anyways, she didn't get a clamshell. She did end up getting a 9x9 press. So that was probably the good happy medium for her. She'd been using like an old iron and it had holes in it and it just was not working for her. So, okay.
Ann, I'm so glad you were on the coaching call. We're so glad that you got coached today.
Yay.
If you're not in Inner Circle, you're missing out, y'all.
Oh yeah, for sure. Okay, I want to give you guys a little tip if you decide to do a vol shirt with this font. Because this tail comes out here, when I'm picking my middle ground, I do not measure that. I know that sounds weird, but what I'm saying is I like to fold my designs in half. So this vols, I'm going to fold it and crease it right here in the middle. And look, normally I would say take it this end to this end and then crease it. But where that tail is just kind of like an extra little swoop on the end, I'm not going all the way out there. I'm just kind of creasing it right down the middle here. And then I'm gonna line that up with the middle of my shirt. We're gonna do 3 finger widths down. If you have a t-shirt guide, go for that. Go ahead and use that. I just do 3 and it's fine. And then you just wanna make sure this is as straight as possible. Okay, this is just like a standard putting HTV on a t-shirt. Does that look straight to everybody?
Looks good.
Okay. Okay, and then we're just gonna take our little press. I've got it on the second heat setting on the mini easy press. And then you can tell when it adheres that they're almost like bubbles underneath there. Or it like takes the shape of the texture of the shirt, really, whenever you apply heat to it. So we're just gonna apply
My favorite tip when applying heat transfer vinyl is just to make sure that the bubbles are, you'll see like a little bubbles and that shows that, that vinyl is just attached to your fabric.
Yeah. And we are going to do a warm peel, which means that we're not going to let this cool down before we take it off. So right when you get done ironing it, you can just slowly peel this up. Now you don't want to peel it up fast because if there are portions that have not adhered to the t-shirt, they will pull up and the vinyl will stretch, causing your design to look a little, iffy. But we've got just like that. Beautiful. And then I'm going to go ahead and do our orange layer. Now we can kind of use these little middles to help us line up, as well as our outline. We just want to make sure that our outline is even all the way around.
There used to be a Cricut influencer, and I don't remember who it was, that used to say if you're doing layers, I never understood this. If you're doing multiple layers, like in a regular press, if you're pressing 1 layer, it would be 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And you're doing 3 layers, she would pretty much divide the 30 seconds between all 3 layers. And I just want to invite you, you could press this 3 times at 30 seconds each time, and your vinyl's still gonna be okay.
You're gonna be fine.
It's gonna be fine.
Don't think about it too hard, y'all.
Yeah, so just get it attached, and that's it.
Now, I did, this Vols carrier sheet covers most of my white, but if it didn't, you can always take this extra carrier sheet
keep that
and kind of like
sheet
cover
close.
it. Yeah, you don't want to go in with your iron onto your regular vinyl.
Right.
30 seconds 3 times. You want to make sure it's always covered. Like I have a couple little places that are showing, but I'm not really ironing up there, so it's not a big deal for me. But yeah, don't think about stuff too. I think sometimes we get caught up in the logistics and like the rules, and y'all, this is crafting. Don't take it so seriously.
Right.
I mean, just it's fun. It's supposed to be relaxing, and that's what, we're here for. So peel that up carefully. Beautiful, cute on its own. Cute on its own, but we're gonna razzle dazzle this, okay? So now you're just gonna need to line this up on here. Okay. This one takes more time to line up.
Yeah, this is like the one.
Yeah, this is what you want to spend the most time working with. Okay. And it's not super sticky, so you can kind of adjust. All right. And then we're just going to go in and apply our heat. I wish I could tell you all the best way to know that it's adhered, but honestly, I'm just going to press it on and then kind of lift it up and test to see that it's adhered. That's the best way that I've done it.
Well, with new material, that is a little trickier. It happens.
Right.
And it's so thick. It's hard to tell.
So it takes a little bit more time and pressure and heat, but I didn't turn the heat settings up or anything like that. And it does not work on a it does not work on a hot peel. So you kind of have to let it cool down, but not all the way. It was like a medium peel or like a lukewarm peel. Let me see what happens. Yeah, if I start to pull this up, it's trying to pull up my little holographic guy. So I'm going to let it cool for just a second. Does anyone have questions so far before I pull it up?
Oh, let's see.
Everybody?
Anne says maybe use puff on the white layer. Would that work? Ooh, what's your thought?
I would do puff after.
Yeah.
I would do orange, holographic, and then add your puff outline.
Love that. Great question.
Because the puff is gonna indent if you like go to reapply heat over it. Like you can overwork puff vinyl so quickly. I would not do it. But I did think about adding this this rhinestone to the puff, and I thought I'm gonna try that another day because I wanted to do like a basic tutorial, but I think this would be really fun on puff. And even just the outline in puff would probably look really cute.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll experiment with that. Okay, let's see how it's going. Okay. Now, I'm pulling off this first layer. Whenever you pull it off, it's going to feel weird. There's another layer of transfer under this. This is a double layered carrier sheet, okay? I've never worked with anything that has this, so I was very confused. I was like showing to Lauren, and I was like, why is it like hard? It looks like there's another sheet under there, and there is. So I'm just going, honestly, I don't even need a weeding tool. I'm just going to kind of lift it up on the edge here so y'all can see it looks done, but it's kind of hard and stiff.
Hold it up next to the camera because it looks shiny all the way across.
Can y'all see like, yeah, like it's kind of got like a plasticky layer on it.
Like you can tell there's something.
Yeah, and when we take it off, you can tell such a difference. So I keep grabbing the weeding tool, but honestly, your best bet is just to go in here. Look at this, y'all. Like, oh.
Wow.
MG, it's so pretty when you pull it off. And then I'm just going to pull it off all these. Make sure you get it all. It may tear. These is just so pretty. And I'd like to try some other colors as well. Like I'm wondering what orange would look like on the orange HTV. Like an orange holographic. Mm-hmm. Oh, an opal. That would be pretty.
Super cool. So these are not actual rhinestones. So this is just a regular, special vinyl that Cricuts came out with. So it will, work just like your regular heat transfer vinyl. Considering the rhinestones actually went on to a heat transfer vinyl layer, none of our rhinestones actually touch the fabric. We're not really worried about it because we would just assume it would last just like any other.
Yeah.
So great question.
And y'all, we've done some rhinestone tutorials, but they take special files and you have to have very specific sizes of rhinestones and there's like extra materials. And so we don't specialize in rhinestones, and so we don't do a whole lot of content on that. But we do specialize in cricketing. And this is Cricut vinyl, and I feel like this is such a more tangible way for you all to achieve a very similar look.
We love it.
Are you kidding me?
Like you made that.
In real life,
did you pay $50?
No, girl. I did not pay nothing.
So cool.
Like I can't, it looks like real rhinestones for me.
It 100% does.
Like, okay, let's show it like on camera one. Shing, shing, shing,
Love
shing,
it.
shing. Okay, and that's it, y'all. That's it.
Bring it over. I want to touch it. I want to feel it.
It's just so light.
Wow.
Isn't that amazing?
I mean, it's literally like you cut out all these little dots.
This is working smarter, not harder. You know what I'm saying?
1000%. I mean, look at it.
I'm wearing it next weekend.
Heck yeah. I'm so excited.
I love it.
So good. Oh my gosh, guys, what do you think?
Anyways, hope you guys are having a good day and are ready to craft. We are going to be making a multi-layered HTV t-shirt for Valentine's Day.
Now, this
So
is
cute.
something that I feel like everybody wants to know how to do.
Yes.
It can be intimidating, but y'all stick with us because it is not as intimidating as you think. And this is something to have in your back pocket to know how to do.
Yes, and I think just looking at this t-shirt, if you saw the thumbnail, and I'm going to show you all close up, looking at it, I think that's what's intimidating about it is because there's so many layers and you're like, how'd you get those colors there? I'm going to show you all. It's so, I sometimes don't like to say it's so easy because then you go and have a hard time doing it and you're like, but it wasn't that easy for me. What I do want you to feel like is that you've got support from us and that we are breaking it down for you step by step. And if you watch the video and you're still confused, you have the ability to go back and rewatch this video at any time. Okay, so this is what we're making. I'm going to give y'all a close-up. This is a multi-layered HTV vinyl project. How stinking cute. Am I a good central area,
Beautiful.
Courtney? Okay, beautiful. So we're going to be using some glitter today. We're going to be using these other solid colors. We're going to be stacking some of these letters. I mean, it's just too cute. I can't. I want to eat it up. I love it. So you're going to need a few simple things. Obviously, you're going to need some HTV. Now, you know we always encourage y'all to use what you have on hand. These are the colors that we're using today. I'll link these below for you all. And then I will also say I linked, and I'm just saying this because I want to be upfront. I linked this color, and I'm like 90% sure it's the right color. So I think it's called Cashew or something. We already had this, and when you buy these, sometimes they don't have the name on them. So this was like the one I linked is like the closest thing I could find on the website, but it still didn't look exact. So just let that be known. Make your own judgment there. But we are using a pink glitter, and then we've got a white, a pink, and this yellow color, as well as a black. These are all heat transfer vinyls, meaning they need a heat source for the adhesive to activate, and then it will apply itself to whatever substrate you're using. Today, our substrate is a t-shirt. So I'm gonna sit these to the side. I have a gray shirt here, and a lot of you all like to know the makeup of the shirt, and I'm just gonna tell you right now, this is 100% cotton, okay? It needs to be washed, especially cotton if you're gonna be putting HTV on it. If you apply HTV to a 100% cotton shirt and then proceed to wash it, it will shrink your vinyl up, okay? It will shrink your vinyl up. It's gonna look lumpy. It's not gonna be cute anymore. So you want to pre-wash. I know there's like speculation on it's not really that big of a deal. If you're using a material that's like, I would say more of a synthetic material is not as important.
Right,
Wouldn't you agree?
Right, but my question, or one of the things that you do need to be aware of, I would assume, is some cotton shirts will say on there, pre-shrunk cotton.
Yes, that's a good point.
So if it's pre-shrunk, if it says that it is specifically pre-shrunk cotton, then I think you could be okay with getting by with not washing it. But Alicia is 100% correct. If it is, if it just says 100% cotton, it's not pre-shrunk. Cotton will shrink once you wash and dry it.
Yes.
So you do need to try to wash your cotton shirts so that when it does shrink, it doesn't like wrinkle your vinyl up.
Yeah, and it will ruin your shirt. So like it'll be really cute before you wash it. You'll wash it and you like don't want to wear it anymore because it looks weird. I got a really cool Mickey Mouse shirt for Disney World and washed it and it ruined. And it was like, I was like, what the heck? But it was from Etsy, so someone hadn't pre-washed their shirt. And I was a buyer, so I was not happy.
You didn't even make it.
Yeah, I didn't make it. I was a buyer. This was in 2020 before I used a Cricut. So anyways, make sure to pre-wash your shirts. If you're still unsure, if it says pre-wash and you don't feel comfortable, wash it anyways. Who cares, you know? So this is just 100% cotton shirt. I do have a lint roller. You just like to have a lint roller laying around your craft room. It's just one of those things that's a necessity. I don't know what's on here, but I tried to get this off. It's like a fuzz in the material. Oh. So got my shirt, got my lint roller, my HTV. You're gonna need a burnishing tool. I'm using a Cricut Mini Easy Press because you know that I swear by these for all of my HTV needs. Honestly, who needs a heat press? Not me. I'm gonna use a Mini Easy Press. Especially for t-shirt projects, That's just my personal preference. A lot of people really love the bigger easy presses. Listen, that's your agenda. If that's what you want to do and that's what works for you, go for it. I feel like I get more precision with my mini easy press, and that's why I love it so much. So that's what we're going to be using. I do have a standard grit mat here for our HTV. That's typically what we use. And then I have a heat mat, okay? I never knew how much and how important these were. I thought it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I can just iron it on there. These help so much. I wish I could just like show you a comparison, but just trust me, these work. These are like, do what they need to do. So if you don't have one, you can still complete this shirt, but a heat mat is helpful. You want. Okay. So this image is on our website, and I want to say it's called Fry. Let's go. Fry what, Courtney?
Fry cartoon with Stanley.
Fry cartoon with Stanley. There you go.
Like 7 more coming out next year.
Y'all, there's 7 more coming out, and they're like, what? We've got shamrocks, disco balls.
We have people saying it's a girl, it's a
Peeps.
guy.
We have peeps. See, some people thought it was a guy. See, thanks.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, listen, before we go look for that file, I just need to take a moment. If you're making Valentines, I know our scratch off Valentines were amazing, but if you're like a print and cut girlier guy, look how cute these are. We just put these on the website. Surprise for Valentine's Day.
Surprise.
I'm obsessed with these. They fold into little records. Super easy, y'all. We don't have a video for them, but you can make these so quick and easy on your own.
If you need to add one in.
Do what?
I said yet. We might need to add one in somewhere.
I know. I'm like, should we? I was gonna make a TikTok about it, but our little Sadie's sick today. She's out. She's our TikTok girl. We added these, and then we also added these. We do have a tutorial coming on these little handwriting print things. Okay, so those are brand new. Just want to show you guys. So what do we say? Fry with Stanley, fry guy. French fries.
Oh, I knew Carol would love those handwriting, those files that we've added too.
Oh, yeah.
She said, OMG, I haven't seen those handwriting files.
Yes, they're very, very cute.
Also, I think our fry person, I just think it's just a fry baby. Just a fry
A fry
person.
babe.
A fry babe.
It is a fry baby. It does feel like a fry baby.
Yep. It's not a girl, it's not a guy, it's just a fry babe.
It's just a babe. Okay. So now that we've determined that, we're going to download this. So just hit the little download icon. It's going to pop into a zip folder, which we're going to open up. That's going to unzip our file. And then you can see here we have an SVG, which is a cuttable image. Now, if you wanted to print this image, you would just have to flatten it. And I'll show you how to do that. But let's go ahead and upload our image. So go upload, go to your Finder, and we're going to click, drag, and drop. And then we're going to upload. And so now we have it right here, and we need to select it and add it to our canvas. And he's a little big. He's big there, big boy. Anyways, so we got our French fry person in here. Now let's go get our font. This is one of our new-ish fonts. It's called Funky Record. It is adorbs. So I'm just on our website. I'm going to go to our fonts. You can type in the font. Also, anything that I'm mentioning is linked in the description below for you all. So you can just snag it there rather than going to search for it. And then we're just going to click the download button. And then we're going to open the zip folder. We're going to double click it in our Finder and then hit install fonts. Okay. And then we're going to go back to Design Space and save whatever you're working on. Okay, save it first. And then we're going to reload Design Space. And this is going to allow Cricut to recognize that new font that we downloaded, and then we can use it in our design. Okay. Now our font's in here, and we can check by hitting a text box, and you can type in whatever you want. If you've got something more clever than Fries Before Guys, listen, it's your shirt. You can put whatever you want on it. I'm going to go to our system fonts. This is where all of our downloaded fonts live. For some reason, when you download this font, it puts a 1 in front of it. So it's going to be your first font. Okay, so I am going to download this font and change my text to the Funky Record. And like I was saying, there's a 1 in front of Funky Record whenever you download it. So it'll be like right at the top of your list. You probably won't even have to go look for it. Now, for sizing purposes, we are going to need to measure our shirt. But before we do that, let me show you all how to get this right here. I'm going to show you how to get this technique, and then we'll resize everything together. Okay, so we've got this situation right here. I'm going to go ahead and change this to black. I want this to be our black offset. So this is kind of giving it that like drop shadow effect. And then what I'm going to do, I've changed it to black, make sure it's still selected. We're just going to hit this duplicate button up here on the layers panel. And I'm going to change this to a this pretty pink color. Okay, so this just gives us that offset. Now, if you're like, I want it to be curved like you have it, you can leave it just like this. If you want it to be curved, let's delete that top layer. We're gonna curve it first and then duplicate it. So I'm just gonna select that underneath layer. We're gonna select curve right up here. It says curve. You can go this way or this way. I personally think this way looks better. And then you can just resize it. And you could look, you can go all the way around if you're feeling crazy, but we don't want to do that much.
Feeling cray-cray.
If you're feeling cray-cray. And then that's pretty good. And then if you want to do that offset, you're going to do the same thing. You would just duplicate it, and we will change the color to this pink, and there you go. Now we're going to actually be applying these as separate layers whenever we go to make the shirt. So the fact that they're not attached or anything right now is totally fine. Okay, so let's go overhead and measure our shirt. Oops. Are you saying you want like an outline on this? You can add an offset to your words if you would rather do something like that. I would shrink it. And you could do like a pink offset. Is that what you mean? That's actually kind of cute. But we'll do our...
I do like that, but I really like the drop shadow too.
Me too. The drop shadow gives me the vintage vibe that we're going for. That's why I like it. Okay. So I've got my shirt here. Now, when you're measuring t-shirts, you don't want to go all the way to the edges because it's just like, you got to think, if a kid has this shirt on, like you're not going to be really seeing on these edges right here. So I always kind of measure just a roundabout, like I give myself, I don't know, like a 2-inch leeway on the edges. So about 7 inches wide. And then I try to focus where I measure this part kind of up towards the top of the shirt. Like I'm not gonna make my dimensions all the way to 11 inches. Like that's just crazy. So we're thinking 7 inches wide by like 7 inches tall. That's like my working area. You know what I'm saying? We don't want it to be gigantic. So,
and this is all going to depend on what size shirt you do.
Absolutely. Like if you're doing a onesie, it may be even smaller.
Or if you're doing
a big shirt.
A big shirt, like a 2X, it's going to be bigger.
Right. So I'm just going to pull in a basic square, and we're going to make a 7x7 square. I'm going to make it light gray, and we're going to send it to the back. So this is our t-shirt template. And that's how we like to design our stuff. Canva. I've been learning about Canva today. Cricut does have templates that you can use, but I don't personally like to use those. No, none of us really use those here. We just like to use basic shapes. It's easy. I can grab it and go. It's just the easiest way for me to do it. And then what I'm going to do is fill up this little square with my design. So you can kind of play around with the dimensions and how big everything is, just like so. All right, I mean, that was easy. That's all it took. What do you guys think? It's so cute, right?
That's the easy part.
This is the easy part. We've already made the file for you. You don't have to do all that crazy stuff. What I'm gonna do now is delete this. I'm gonna delete this one because I need it to be out of the way. I want you all to see what's going on here. I'm gonna delete this square too. And then we'll hide. We're just gonna hide this square because we don't need it. That was just our template. We can just hide it, okay? The next thing that we need to do is go in here and make everything. Now, what I like to do, Lauren, if this were you, would you attach your pink to your pink? You would?
Actually, I would attach my black to my black.
I'm thinking black to black, but not pink to pink.
No,
because
I would not
don't know
attach
which
pink to pink, but I would attach black to black because I would start with my black layer and build from there.
Yep.
So I would attach my black drop shadow of my words, and I would attach the black layer of my SVG.
Yes. So we're going to attach just that drop shadow. And then don't select this because that's the whole French fry, okay? Hold your shift key down and we're going to select just the black outline of our French fry, okay? Let me make sure. Okay. So we just want this. Now look, this is our black layer because if I hide it, it goes away. That's creepy. If it goes away.
That is creepy. That's creepy.
So we just want this layer and this layer. So what I like to do is select one layer, hold my shift key down, and then select my other layer. I'm gonna attach my blacks together. So these are just my black layers. Why did it do that? I know why it did it. Let's undo it.
Because it's still attached.
Yes.
You have to detach it.
So we're going to, it's grouped, first of all.
Oh.
I think it's just grouped. It's just
Okay.
grouped, which is weird that it did that because it's just grouped. Normally it's if it's attached it would do that, but anyways.
It's okay.
Ungroup your French fry first and then go and grab that. We're gonna hold the shift key down, grab that black layer, and then we're gonna attach.
And then it looks normal.
Yeah, so it should look like this after you've attached your black layers. If it does not look like this after you attach your black layers, you've skipped a step.
Now pull the black layers away from it so they can see what it looks like all together. Okay, so that's
see?
what your black layer should look like.
Yep, so we're gonna be cutting all this out together. This is gonna be our coloring book. This is our guideline. We're gonna fill in the blanks, okay?
That is a perfect analogy for this, is acting like your black outline. That is your coloring book. And you're gonna add your colors to your coloring book once you're done.
Yes. So, and I'm gonna show you guys why you need to lay your black layers down first, because I didn't. I'm gonna show you why you should here in just a second. So everything's been sized. When you're making shirts, make sure you're checking your sizes. Put a sticky note on your Cricut if you make a lot of shirts and you need to remember. I'm bad for like just making stuff and like literally not even sizing it at all. I just make it. I think yesterday me or Courtney one did that. Or Courtney, it was a card. She made a card. She was like, I didn't even resize that. Luckily it was the good size. It just worked out for us. But so I need to change my default mat size because it keeps bringing them in as 24-inch size mats. I'm going to change these to 12 by 12 mats, but you can see here every single layer every single color is on its own mats, okay? The reason that we did not connect these pinks is because I don't know when I'm gonna do that pink layer, if that makes sense. I guess I could have technically done it first.
Well, so what would have probably ended up happening is you would have ended up cutting away the words from
Like
the fry.
separating it. Yeah, that's why I was thinking I'm just gonna leave it separate. It's fine. So I have put everything on a 12 by 12 inch mat, but we are using heat transfer vinyl, which means that we're gonna need to cut our vinyl from the rear side because the carrier sheet is on the front side. So when we apply our HTV to our mat, we put it carrier sheet side down or shiny side down a lot of times, and then we cut the image out of the vinyl side. So I need to mirror my HTV. You always mirror HTV, okay? So you can just go through here and select mirror on each of these before we go to the next screen. And then I'm just gonna start up at the top. We're gonna continue. And I'm using the Explore 3 today, and we're gonna be cutting this on everyday iron-on. Now, not all of these are everyday iron-on because one of them's glitter, so make sure you're paying attention whenever you're cutting. But we're gonna start with everyday iron-on. I'm just gonna move my shirt and get our standard grip mat. Okay, and we're starting with white. So you don't need a lot, honestly. Like I've just got this scrap piece here. I'm just gonna line this up to the top. So in Design Space, you can see that it's cutting on this, you can see that it's cutting on that top left corner. Typically that's where it cuts, but really you can move it. Like if you needed to move it to a different area, you can move this anywhere. But since it's on that top left area, we're gonna put our vinyl on the top left area, and we've got it shiny side. I don't know if y'all can tell if that's shiny. Shiny side down, okay? And our image is mirrored. So then we're gonna feed this into our cutter. Do I have my iron on? I'm gonna go ahead and put my iron on the second heat setting. Oh, it made a weird crunchy sound when it went through.
I know.
Why'd you do that? Okay. I'm just cutting off the area where it cut, you guys. You can't see it, but I can.
You have your glyphs for each font already in like Silhouette that you can just choose from, that you don't have to copy and paste from your font book.
Beautiful. Dang, Silhouette knows what's up.
But I'm trying to see where you would go to curve your text if you do curve it.
Okay.
Okay, if she knows how to
good,
curve,
okay.
I don't, but then what you would do once you're in Silhouette, you would just take your black outline of your fries, and if you do the drop shadow of the curved text, you would create compound path for those two. And then that would keep it all together, and the rest you're still just gonna cut separate.
Yes, beautiful. Okay, I am putting my black, this is my black layer, shiny side down, lining it up. This is our bigger layer.
You pop it in on an,
Are y'all talking about Silhouette?
yeah, so if you are using a Silhouette, you choose your shape. So you would like put an oval around or a circle around your image, and then you pop that text onto it, and it snaps to the, and it actually snaps to any shape you want. So you could have like a zigzag.
Yeah.
You can like actually go in and draw a curve, like very much like Illustrator.
Yeah.
You draw your curve and you snap your text to that line.
Honestly, Design Space was one of the first places where they had like a curved text feature.
Right.
Which made it so easy. But then you're limited to your shapes too. But most of the time people just do the arch shape. But before it was always, you drew a shape and then you would snap it to the line. Okay, we're about to cut out the black portion, so that's gonna take a minute. Excuse me. I'm gonna weed my white while that's going. So we're weeding off everything we don't want here. Okay, so we're not weeding out the design, we're weeding off the excess vinyl. This is an awful weeding tool. Should have grabbed my Maker's Gonna Learn one.
I think I see it right back here. Also, yes, you always mirror your design if you are using heat transfer vinyl. So if you are not using heat transfer vinyl for your project, and maybe you're just creating this sticker to put on something else, you're not gonna have to mirror. But if you are using heat transfer vinyl, you do have to mirror every single portion of this, every single color.
I want to use this little moment to show you all, if you want to do this on like printable vinyl, if you wanted to make stickers, how you can flatten it and print it. So what I'm going to do is open up a new window. Did you guys know you could do this? Go File, New Window, and you can just open up a new thing. So I'm going to go to My Stuff, and we'll just make a new project because I don't want to interfere with my cutting process. And I'm going to upload that image again. So we're just going to add our little French fry baby to our canvas. Oh. Okay, girl, Courtney just had a great idea. Courtney says we should change him to blue. I'm glad we had this talk about if it's a girl or a boy.
So if you want it to be a boy,
it can be whatever colors your heart desires, okay? Listen, we're gonna have 3 girls. You can make a whole little sticker sheet of these and it would be so cute. But if you wanted to do blue or whatever color, you can go over here to your layers panel and alter these colors because this is an SVG. Now, there are ways around it with a PNG, as Lauren has showed you all before. But let's say we wanted to have a blue.
No, not that blue. Go to advanced.
We want
like that blue.
Like a vintage pale blue, right?
Yeah.
Cute. Okay, for the other part, I'm gonna select this one and go a little darker.
A little darker. Okay.
That's cute.
Let's
zoom in and look at our French fry guy.
Oh, I like him.
Him's cute. And then, I mean, listen, you can get crazy. You can do whatever colors that you want. Let's try purple. Not that one. Oh, man. Ah!
What'd you just do?
I want you to see what I'm doing. Okay, let's do a purple.
Ooh, you have the whole thing selected. Go back.
Lordy day. I gotta slow down. That's my problem. Okay, let's select it. Go to your layers panel and select in the sub layer so you can just change the portion that you want. And I want to do like a pale purple. That's cute. And then the dark layer, I'm just gonna select that pale purple again and just go like a little darker. How cute!
That's cute.
I'm obsessed. Okay, and listen.
It kind of looks, do you remember, I can't remember what commercial, but it was like a retro commercial where it was like a gang of little cartoon characters.
I feel like I've seen what you're talking about, but I can't put my finger on it.
That's what that looks like.
It's so cute. They need to be a mascot for something.
Yes.
Okay, can you contour out the eyelashes? I don't think so, because they are
attached. I mean, you can slice them out if you really wanted to.
Which layer are they attached to?
The black layer. And you'd have to zoom in and like slice.
I'll do it for you. You want me to do
it for you?
I'll do it for you. Anything is possible if you put your mind to it. Okay,
You
this is
just
what I would do.
believe.
If I didn't want eyelashes, if you don't want eyelashes because you're making a boy, even though men have eyelashes too, I'm just saying.
I'm gonna contour out the eyeballs and then contour out everything but the eyeballs.
Okay, Courtney says that we should contour out the eyeballs and then contour out everything except for the eyeballs. Okay.
What?
I know what she's saying. I'm going to show you guys
Okay.
how to do this, okay? First of all, we need to go start from the beginning. Because I don't want to confuse you guys. Okay.
Okay.
Let's say that you want to contour out the eyeballs. The eyelashes, not the eyeball. We want it to have eyeballs. We don't want the eyelashes because we're creating a boy. What I would do is ungroup it, first of all. And then this is the layer, right? We want to duplicate it, right? Oh my gosh. And then here, I'm just going to duplicate this one again just to make it easier. And then we're going to contour out everything. No, that won't work, Courtney, because it had, the lashes are connected to the eyeball. They're connected.
Yeah, because then you're gonna just slice them off with an oval.
Well, that's what I was going to do from the beginning. I see what you're saying. Okay, okay. So let's go. Should I just click on them here?
That looks so weird.
Hold on, everybody. And then I need to slice them out with an oval here. That's your idea. Okay. And then we're gonna go grab an oval and we're gonna turn it to 90 degrees.
And just make it the exact size of the eyeball.
I'm gonna change it to a guide. This is gonna allow us to see what's behind it. And I'm gonna zoom in even more. Even more. Okay, and I'm gonna unlock it because it's not a perfect oval and I need to make it wider. So we just want that red line to go right along the edges there. Okay, we are improv design space in here.
Improv, for sure.
Improving hard. Okay. I think it needs to just rotate a hair here. Can y'all see what's going on? Are y'all picking up what I'm putting down?
Yes.
This is what you, okay.
Yes.
I'm going to shrink it up just a hair. All right, then select the guide.
And slice.
And slice. Now watch. Okay, and then you
then
can
just
just
duplicate it.
Duplicate it, and look, there you go. You got two boy eyeballs.
Two non-eyelash eyeballs.
Two bald eyeballs. And then, yeah, you would have to contour out these eyes again.
No eyes.
No eyes for you, sir. Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah, boy, cowboy.
That's a cowboy right there.
Aye. But then you have to get it lined up with the layer behind it.
This is why he should just have eyelashes. And then you can, and that looks pretty good to me. I'm just going to attach it, and there's my little man, okay? He's cute.
Now get rid of the black layer of that purple or the blue one real quick.
Okay.
And pull him over. And see if he...
It's gonna have holes for the eyelashes.
Oh, we didn't think about that, you guys.
Darn it.
Oh, we were so close.
So close, yet so far away.
I can't do it on a live stream. But if
No,
I figure it out after the live stream, I will. Because I can figure it out. I gotta use my brain. Okay, and I don't want to get off track too far.
Yeah, we can't get off track.
Anyways, if you want a boy one, you can get the outline there. You know what I'm saying? Okay, I'll make a little, I don't know. Let's just carry on.
We'll just carry on with our other stuff. Back to the other window.
There you go. Okay, our black is cut out. Before I remove it, I'm gonna make sure that it cut by just taking my weeding tool and like peeling up some of that vinyl. It did cut, so we're gonna remove this. I'm gonna go ahead and take the vinyl off, and we're gonna keep cutting. I like to cut while I'm weeding, so like to keep the process moving. And Cricut is telling me to cut my French fry color now. So remember, shiny side down. Excuse me, shiny side down. Make sure to burnish it really good so it stays where it needs to.
Also, by the way, if you are lost, please don't feel lost. That was even very involved for us, and
It was a side tangent.
Yeah, it's a side tangent, and we're back to layering HTV.
We're back.
The easy part.
Oh my gosh. Like, chop, chop, you know? I don't like to sit there. I already don't like to go get my nails done. I'm like, I just want to have them done. I don't want to get them done. You know what I'm saying? Okay, I'm just cutting off the portion. I know I cut really good straight lines for you guys.
You do, beautiful.
I know, I'm really good at it.
I'm like impressed by your straight line cutting.
Okay, this is our pink layer. This one's white on the back, but it's still heat transfer vinyl. This is Caesar Easy Weed. This pink color, I don't know where it was from, but it was not working good. So I'm hoping and praying this Caesar Easy Weed is better. I just got it in the mail today, so it's fresh. Everyday iron on.
So fresh and so clean.
It is. I'm gonna go to edit. Do you all see, this is personal preference. I always like to cut everything like right in this left corner. I'm just like that. I'm gonna move it and hit done. And we're gonna cut this on everyday iron on. And then we're gonna load it in. While that one cuts, because it'll take just a second, we're gonna go ahead and weed our Frenchy fries. Okay. This also reminds me of Pals. When I said Frenchy fry, this kind of reminds me of like the Pals vibe.
Well, not everybody here knows what Pals is. Pals is a very East Tennessee thing.
It is. They have, if you're from East Tennessee,
and if you ever visit East Tennessee,
it's the big building with a giant hot dog and a giant cheeseburger and a giant drink on the front of it.
We love our Pals.
Oh man, it's so good. Listen, my mom, she turned 50 this week, and she loves Pals. She goes there every morning. I didn't know that they didn't have gift cards. They only have Pals Bucks.
Pals Bucks. Yeah, so you give them $5 and they give you 5 Pals Bucks.
Yes.
They're $1 a piece.
Do you receive change in Pals change? Or do you receive actual change?
No, I think
back?
you just receive actual change.
Oh, okay. I was just curious. I didn't know they had their own exchange.
Somebody on here said, love me some cheddar rounds. You better believe those cheddar rounds slap.
The cheddar rounds? I'm trying to think. Lauren directed me to a place over in good old Beans Station.
That's right. They have them. You can purchase them.
Yeah, and I did. And they're literally the same thing.
They're the same thing.
They're
and
the
it's
black
right by
market.
my house.
They're the black market cheddar rounds. I am cutting off the excess of our black, and I'm going to go ahead and weed out the big general area. But be very careful and mindful on your black of where you are weeding, because we don't want to weed out the wrong thing, you know? You want to be really mindful of that. I like to also break a section sometimes just to like get started. And so it weeds a little bit better. And you don't have to weed on the mat. A lot of people like to weed on the mat. It does help, like it would help right now, but you can weed off of the mat if you need to. Okay. Is our light pink. Now we've got to make sure, since we're going to our glitter, that we're changing to glitter iron on. Let me move all my stuff out of the way. Okay, I'm going to use this corner, and glitter's the same. You're going to put it shiny side down. The glitter's going to be facing down towards the mat. If it's really thick and it's trying to curl up, you can use painter's tape or masking tape to hold the edges down, but you do want to burnish it really well That way it doesn't move when it's cutting. And then under our browse all materials, we are going to type in glitter and go to glitter iron-on, okay? Glitter vinyl is different. We need glitter iron-on this time because this is HTV. Okay, and then we're gonna send it into our Cricut, and that should cut. And we can just keep on weeding. Does anybody have? Okay.
I was holding my breath.
So for some reason, my freckles didn't cut out on this shirt, and I was like determined to get these freckles to stay this time. I'm using a pin weeding tool. If you have never heard of these, I'm going to show you. This is basically just a weeding tool that has a very, very fine point tip on it, very fine point needle, and it just clicks on and off like a pin, but it's so good for weeding intricate projects like this. So I'm just going in here. I was trying to get those freckles to stay. So if you heard any heavy breathing, it was just me concentrating. I'm just trying to get all these little pieces out, and make sure that you're not weeding and talking like I am whenever you go to do this, because you'll mess up. So just concentrate. And if you need to, pull your image back up on Design Space so you can actually see what needs to be black and what doesn't, and then you can weed out anything that doesn't need to be black. Okay. What would also help with these little pieces, I was thinking we might have some painter's tape in here. It's okay. You know what? I'm gonna cut a piece of this transfer tape to stick all my weeded pieces off. Yeah, because I worry sometimes that I'm gonna accidentally leave a piece of like weeded vinyl on here, and I really don't want to do that. So we're just going to stick it to that little piece of transfer. There's a hack for you I just made up on the fly. Uh-oh. I'm trying to grab. So y'all can see now like what I mean about being careful, because you could accidentally start weeding the outline, and obviously we don't want it to do that. And when you get to the cup, that's when it's real finicky. Pay special attention to the cup. Okay.
ASMR.
We should have a whole, we keep joking about having an ASMR episode, but I'm not joking.
This is going to be the most intensive portion of this, is just weeding out these fries.
It is. But we're going, we're trucking along, everybody. Okay, Holly, next I'm curious which will be layered first or next. I'm about to show you.
I love it.
Yeah, and we can actually talk about this too, and what I would love to know your all's thoughts. And I'm gonna give you some tips and why certain ways wouldn't work.
Oh, we got a lot of red hearts.
Okay, so they have tried it.
Yes.
Okay.
We have some blue hearts coming in. Karen says tried, but never this many layers.
Okay, see, same. That's how, I mean, I have done a few, but I feel like more often than not, I'm just doing like 2 layers. It's not as often that I'm doing this many layers, and it's typically because if I was doing a project like this normally, I would sway to principal vinyl. But this is honestly so fun to me, like to put all these pieces together. It's like a little puzzle. It's like your own little miniature piece of artwork. I mean, because you assemble it all on your own. So it makes it fun.
People are saying certainly not this detailed. This one is a very detailed one.
Yeah, it is. It is. Okay. But I want to encourage you all to try it. If you have not done multi-layer and you are wanting to, this is, I mean, go for it. It's just vinyl. I mean, what's it matter? If you mess up, no biggie, you know? Really, the biggest place you might going to mess up is weeding the wrong thing, if I'm being honest with you. Okay. Did I miss anything? I don't think I did. Look how cute. See, there's a little piece right here, and I worry about that. I don't want those to go onto my shirt. So make sure if you have any little scragglers, you get them. Okay, there's our outline. We've got our French fries, and you can kind of just like see how it's gonna be layered. Okay, I'm gonna weed our pink layers, and then we'll get started on the application process. Now I need to cut this.
You and your straight lines, man.
I know y'all like to see me show off.
Show up. Show up and show out.
I'm showing up and showing out. And you know what? I cut this reverse. I did this one reverse.
What do you mean?
Like this is glitter on that one. I did this one glitter.
Cool.
So we'll see how that turns out. I didn't mean to do that. Okay.
So his shoes are going to be standard pink, but the inside is going to be glitter pink.
Glitter. Yeah.
And his Stanley is going to be regular pink and not glitter pink.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm trying to, glitter is so hard. You got to get it right in the light to see. It weeds really good, but it's hard to like find the edges of your design. Okay. It's so interesting, glitter vinyl, like the way it feels. Y'all, I'm obsessed with the glitter. I was like not thinking it was gonna be cute, but it's gonna be really cute. So now we're just weeding the other pink part.
So we did have someone say, does putting baking soda really help weed black color? So it doesn't necessarily help with the weeding process. What it does is it allows you to see the lines better. The only thing is if you have trouble seeing it and you have trouble weeding it because you can't see it, I would suggest it. However, the only thing is because the adhesive or the transfer or the carrier sheet does have adhesive on it, whether you use baking soda, baby powder, whatever, you just have to be very, very diligent to make sure you wipe that off and it doesn't transfer onto your garment.
Right. Almost lost our tongue there. I lost it last time. I got it. I saved it. Okay. All right.
Or, yes, Karen said she bought a light board. You can purchase a light board to help if that is something that you think you need.
Yes, light boards can be helpful. I think particularly with black or glitter especially. We don't use one around here. Honestly, I just hold it up to the light and then weed it. But it can be very helpful if you have issues seeing it.
I think the other thing is upside down.
Okay.
Lord Jesus.
Do you see what okay, good. Sorry.
It's fine. I was like, oh no, I didn't. And then I was like, I thought I did. Okay, so we've got all of our pieces. Now it's time to assemble. Now, this is a mistake I made the first time because I thought I want to put my black on last. I want it to be like the what holds it together, what brings it together. The issue is that your vinyl will shrink a little bit just by nature. Not much, just a little bit. And so whenever you go in and apply the colors first, sometimes when we go to apply that outline at the end, everything's just a little bit off. Like because it's shrunken just to the left a little bit, or so, because you can't control that. You know what I'm saying? So what we're going to do today is apply the black layer first. Okay, black layer first.
Courtney, are you overhead? Okay.
And then we're going to apply all the other layers after. So this is, like we were saying earlier, this is our little coloring sheet. So we've got our shirt. It's pre-washed, okay? Needs to be washed, especially if it's cotton. Okay. Now I normally do, for adult shirt, I would do 3 finger widths apart, but kids, I usually do about 2. And I also will take my design for heat transfer vinyl. This is what I normally do. Just fold it right in half, crease it at the top and the bottom, and then try to line it up with the tag. Make sure that you lint roll it before you apply any HTV so it's nice and clean. And I'm just gonna line up my crease to my tag, and we're gonna do it about 2 maybe even 1.
Okay.
What?
Quick observant, something that we had a friend here that has observed. And
Okay, tell me.
The freckles, you're going to have to cut the freckles out of the middle if you want them on the top of the thing because there's not holes in the glitter vinyl.
Oh my gosh, so smart.
So just take a true, most of the time, this is not going to be the case. But with this one, you do want the freckles on top. So she's just going to cut out the freckles out of the center really quickly.
Just cutting it right on the countertop.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, little dude, gal. Just cutting your face off. I'm just cutting these freckles off. This is just me being committed to these freckles.
Yeah.
Because I had previously just let them go. But I think they're really cute and they add a lot of character. So we're going to keep them today. Okay.
Sorry for that. I know that's a lot to ask.
It's okay. We're committed. I'm going to keep you right there.
Keep you right there. Don't go anywhere.
Don't go anywhere. Okay. I'm going to line this up. We're doing like a finger widths down. I kind of like it up towards the top a little bit. Look how cute. It's so cute. Okay. And then we've got our little heat mat. Now it's not going to fit inside, but we can put it behind it. And then we are going to return on our mini heat press because it took me forever. And we're going to put it on the medium heat setting. I honestly didn't think it was going to take us this long to cut out all of that.
You're getting red.
I'm burning up. I'm sweating. I'm sweating. Look, y'all, I don't know why. I don't know why I buy sweaters. I just shouldn't buy sweaters. I'm postpartum. I'm like, it's just, I have hot heat. I'm hot all the time. Okay, we're medium heat setting. I'm just going to go over this slowly. You do not need to put a Teflon sheet or butcher paper. We get a lot of questions about this. The carrier sheet is a protective sheet, okay? It is protective. There's no vinyl like being ironed on directly. We have the carrier sheet. And so I just kind of go over this. The carrier sheet is sticky, so it keeps it in place. And I'm not putting a whole lot of pressure, just light to medium pressure. And yeah, and you can usually tell. It's hard for you all to tell because you're not right here with me. But you get little tiny bubbles all over the vinyl, and that's how you know that it has had heat run over it and it's adhered to the shirt. And Caesar Easy Weed is also a warm peel. So you don't want to put it off right when it's hot, but you want to let it sit for a second. And then before you start, don't yank it off. Kind of delicately pull it off and make sure that everything is stuck down as you go. If for some reason it's not, you can lay it back down and iron it on. So you just want to take your time. If you pull too hard and it's not ironed on, it will stretch your vinyl and it'll come back down all weird and like crooked and not cute. Someone asked about the freckles on the glitter vinyl. It should adhere to the glitter vinyl just fine. We should be good. Okay.
Also, if you are selling a shirt, I personally would pre-wash in like sensitive, like
no smell.
No smell, no anything. Just pre-wash it in and no fabric softener.
Yeah. Okay.
And you can do a quick wash on it too, but I would not. Don't need to be just water. It just needs to be like very standard.
Right. Like
no smell laundry detergent.
Okay. I'm sorry, my big old head's in front of this. So then you're going to want to line everything up. So I'm just coming in here and this is like the hardest part. This is the most tedious part, okay?
This is where you're going to color.
This is where you're coloring. Oh, it's so hard to get it perfect sometimes. And listen, it's going to be a little bit off in some areas, like you're hand laying the vinyl down. So you just have to be aware. Now, if this, like my little carrier sheet is very skinny here. If I'm worried about that I'm going to touch any more vinyl, I can use that old carrier sheet to protect the vinyl that's already down. So just be mindful of that. And we're just going to add this on. If you find that whatever vinyl you're using is really shrinking, if it's not a whole bunch of layers, sometimes you can just tack it down for a few seconds, add another layer, tack it down, and then once you've got all your layers down, you can like fully iron it.
Yeah.
But where this is so many, it gets kind of finicky to do that, especially because we're using glitter and we're using regular, and glitter is like a cool peel, so it starts to get messy. Okay, so we're just gonna barely, delicately pull that off. Okay, next.
Thank you. Next.
Thank you. Next. We're gonna line it all up.
Now, the reason that we did the black first, and I know we're probably going to have this question, but the reason we did the black first is because laying all of these colors down exactly where they need to go without the black is going to be so hard to do. Like, it's just almost impossible. And the white, which I know you were able to line up the white.
Oh,
like,
I cut it up.
Oh, you did cut it up?
I cut it up.
Yeah, I highly suggest cutting it up and doing a little at a time.
So we're just doing the eyes. I just cut the hands off. I'm just really...
Cut the hands off.
I just cut them off. And like even the Stanley's not lining up great, so I'm going to
Cut the Stanley off.
I'm going to cut it off too. And we're just going to individually apply these hands.
And that's going to be the trick with this, is cutting it up and tacking it down with your mini easy press, each simple thing at a time. You don't need to try to lay down, in my opinion, and what I have done in the past, it makes it harder trying to keep it all together and line it all up. I would much rather cut it up and do it in smaller pieces to get them perfect.
And listen, these are on little tiny pieces of transfer. I was like, why is that different colors? I still had a dang piece of transfer tape on there. You can take like that big carrier sheet and put it on top. See, we have a carrier sheet here for this hand, but I want to protect the rest of it, so I'm going to lay that on there, and I can iron through both. It'll heat transfer through both layers of that transfer, because it's really not that thick. Okay, and then we've got our little Stanley cup with the straw here. Okay, I'm just gonna get that with the point. This is why I love the Cricut Mini Easy Press, because I can get in there with the point of this and just iron on that little section and then peel off the transfer. And then, where is that stuck to? Y'all, we are in the home stretch. We've got 2 more layers. And I'm going to actually separate this Fries Before Guys from the other layer, the other part. Just going to cut it like so. And then we've got the sides of this, our Stanley. Her tongue is totally off. This is why we like to cut up our pieces. I am actually cutting down the middle here to get this tongue. Let's iron the tongue on before we lose them. We don't want to lose them. Take my little protective sheet, iron the tongue on. It's so little. It's so
there's
little.
a tongue?
Yes, I lost it on my first one, but not today. Not today. We got it. We got the tongue and the freckles. Okay.
Okay.
We're not losing it today. Okay, now for this one, I'm just going to line it up, and we're going to remember we're doing it kind of to the left. You can put it right on top of it and then go to the left and like up a little bit, and that's going to give it that drop shadow. And see how many times I've reused this? Like I'm reusing it over and over and over again. It's just a protective sheet. Or a protective barrier, I should say. Okay. And I saw someone mention puff vinyl. Now, you can layer puff vinyl.
You can, but not with this small.
Yeah, not this small. When you do puff vinyl, it literally puffs up and it expands. And you have to have a certain amount of pressure and heat settings.
And it has to be all at one time.
Yeah, so it depends on your design that you're doing. But this design is a no.
Like the only thing that I could see you would be able to puff might be the black layer on like the little fry guy. Not even because you wouldn't be able to to do puff on like the drop shadow layer.
Yeah.
But even like all of those fine tiny lines, if you did lay the black on top of everything, it's gonna puff up and not look good.
Right. Okay, doing the Stanley. How cute is this, y'all? I'm just loving it. Okay, I mean, y'all can see just how simple it can be if you break it down. We like to say into bite-sized pieces.
Yes.
That's going to be like my motto of the year. Break it down into bite-sized pieces. Okay, I'm going to put him there. Honestly, I could just go in here, lay these down, and then put that big sheet on top and iron it all at once. Oh, so cute. I love it, you guys.
I still think puff for the fries would be,
Oh,
I don't know.
you're saying no.
No, somebody there. We've had a lot of people in the comments saying, "What about puff for the fries?" And I don't know that it would puff right.
If you want a texture, go for flocked. Like
I would
maybe
do flocked.
would be cute to give it like a French fry texture, or
with this
velvet.
with this intricate of a design,
Yes.
I would go with a different texture and not puff.
Wait, are you guys ready for how cute this is about to be? I cannot. It's glitter. You can't see his face as good, but it's still really cute. Okay, if we did a lighter glitter maybe, but I think it's cute. I like it. Fries before guys. Now, glitter is a cool peel, so you're going to want to let this cool down a little bit before. Because let me show you. Oh, this one's going to be okay. A lot of times glitter will just come right back up. No, it is coming up a little bit. I'm going to let that cool down just for a second, and then we're done. Does anybody have freckles? The freckles?
They're on the table.
They're on the table. You're not even going to be able to see them, you guys. You're not going to be able to see them.
No, you didn't lose the lashes.
No, they're in there.
It's just hard to see because of that glitter.
Y'all can't see them because the glitter, yeah. The glitter really should have been a lighter shade of glitter. You can't even see these dang freckles. I'm ironing them on because it's too late and I saved them and I want to commit to it. Okay, here we go. Iron the freckles on. You literally can't see them.
Well,
It's okay.
in your defense, that portion was supposed to have been the light pink.
It was supposed to be
It's
light
okay.
pink. Okay. What do you guys think?
It's so cute.
He's cute.
Cutie patootie.
So I love it. There's that one. Look, it's like reverse. How cute is that? This is what we're going to be making today. I'm going to show it overhead here in just a second. Now, this says motherhood, but you can let this say whatever you want. I really, really, really want you all to take the techniques that we're learning today and start incorporating them into your everyday crafting. I think the point here is that you are learning something new or learning a better way to do something you already do.
Yeah.
Because I think this is like making a t-shirt with HTV is such a like beginner friendly craft. And I think that's like where everybody starts. Mm-hmm. And that's what I was talking about. I love going over these foundational classes because it just refreshes what you may already know and maybe gives you a new perspective. So let's go overhead. So obviously this is a curved text. So I'm going to be showing you all how to do curved text in Cricut Design Space. If I say Canva, y'all better call me out because I have been like in Canva. So we're going to be talking about how to do curved text, how to do multiple colors of curved text, all the stuff, how to lay it down, what order you lay it down, everything you need to know. It's going to be good. So let's just get right into it. So you're obviously going to need a t-shirt. Now everybody always asks what the shirts we're using are made up of. This is just 100% cotton, but you can use other materials. You can do like a poly cotton mix if you wanted to. You could use 100% cotton if that's what your heart so desires. HTV will, HTV that we're using today will stick to those materials. Now they do make special HTVs like Sports Flex, which is more for like a poly, like a polyester type shirt. Like think like sports shirts and things like that, like dry fit. Those would be more of the Sport Flex HTV, which is just a type of heat transfer vinyl. So we're going to be using Caesar Easy Weed, which is a brand of heat transfer vinyl. So if you're brand new and you're like, HTV, what is she even saying? HTV stands for heat transfer vinyl. And I have 4 different colors here. And I believe all of these are Caesar Easy Weed. Y'all, we pretty much don't use anything else. I mean, Caesar Easy Weed is like the best one. You can buy it on 143vinyl.com, and we have linked all of that below for you guys. So I'm going to be using 4 different colors today. We're going to have, this is like a sunset vibe. Me and Lauren were picking these out before the live stream, and we were like kind of doing like a sunset situation. So pink, yellow, orange, or peach, and lavender. But you can use whatever you've got on hand, which is really fun for this project because you can kind of make it now, make it today. And then obviously you're going to need a heat source. I've already turned mine on. This is a Cricut Mini Easy Press. Y'all know this is my favorite craft tool. Cricut Mini Easy Press. If I say to get one craft tool, it's this. Okay, here is our shirt. So I'm going to show you like where we're going to get to, and then I'm going to show you all the steps to get exactly where we want to be. So thank you so much.
Of course.
This is like a standard need. Usually we have a bunch of mats under our thing, but okay. So let's look at where we want to be at. So this is like our finished product over here. Okay, let's pull these over. Now, this is probably, if we just wanted to do one color and do a curved text, this is a pretty relatively easy tutorial, right?
Yeah.
Because we're just literally would type out our text and then use the curve function, but we want to do multiple colors and we want them to cut exactly where they curve on this arch. So let's just get right into it. So we're going to go ahead. You can start with a blank document and we're just going to open up a text box. Okay. Let's make this bigger. And you can choose whatever word your heart so desires. I'm going to do motherhood.
Love it.
That's what the other one was, and I think these are so cute. And we're going to hit Command A or Control A, and that's going to select everything, okay? I'm going to change my font. What font was this? Now, fun little hack. If you don't know what font you use and you've already united something or welded it, you can go over here to this menu in the Layers panel, select that layer, hit Control, click, and go down here to image info and look, our selected font is plain Jane.
Heck yeah.
Isn't that a fun hack?
I
That was
love
like one
that
of my
hack.
favorite hacks when I first started cricketing.
Yeah, it's so good.
Especially because we didn't have unite. You couldn't undo like after you would weld something.
Right.
So we're gonna use plain Jane. I'm just gonna type in plain and always work in your system fonts. That's where your downloaded fonts are. So if you're using Maker's Gonna Learn fonts, whenever you download them, they're gonna be right there. Now if you're like, how do you download a font? Check out our 30 Days to Master Your Cricut, and we go over that in detail.
Yes, so good.
Okay, so this is how we would start. You just literally, we have typed out a word, whatever words you want, and then this is what we're gonna do. Now there's a couple ways you could get to where we wanna be, but I'm just gonna show you the way I would do it. We're gonna start by curving our text, okay? So up here, there's a curve function. This is relatively new. I'm trying to think of when this came out.
It's been a hot minute. Was
Like
it summer
before
of 22?
last year?
Yeah, it was summer of 22,
Oh, okay.
I believe.
I'm thinking of the work function was
Yes.
last year. Okay, and then you can see, you can manually slide this scale to curve it, or you can actually come up here and like type in what you would want, okay?
Y'all, somebody's getting a Cricut for $50.
Where?
Shout out to you.
Oh, from a friend.
Woohoo! Getting the hookup,
Dang.
y'all. Amazing.
That's awesome. What a good friend you have.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so this is what it would look like arched. Now, if you just wanted to do one word, you'd be good to go. That's all you
Right.
would need to do.
But
Now,
we're extra.
we are extra and we like to do things a little bit differently.
Yeah, we do.
So, there's a couple different ways you can do it. Like, initially what I would, like, this isn't the way I would do it. But I think a lot of people are like, well, you could just slice each individual letter off and then change the color. Like I could take a square, slice off the M and then change the color. And y'all, that's all fine and dandy, but that's going to take
A whole long time.
Way too long, yeah. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna duplicate this and set this to the side, okay? And then I'm gonna select that one right there. And I'm going to weld this, okay? Now this is a good time.
I'm intrigued you weld.
Yeah, so this is like a time where I would use weld, which is like 1 in a million.
Yeah.
I'm never gonna use weld except for right now. Okay, that's just me. Now you could do it, we could unite it and you could undo it. Here, I'll just unite it just for you guys. So we're gonna select it, hit combine and unite. But look, I don't have that contour function. I don't know why, but Design Space doesn't want to let me contour out some of these letters. So I'm going to weld, and because I welded it, it thinks it's one unified image, and it's going to allow me to contour. So I'm going to select it all, hit combine, hit weld, and now watch when I select motherhood. My contour function is an option. Okay, so I'm going to hit contour. Now, I'm going to hide all contours except for the M and the E and the O. Okay, and you can see back here kind of where what's gonna be showing up. Anything that's darkened over here is gonna show up over here on our canvas, okay? So these 3 letters are all gonna be in the same color. All right, I'm gonna X off of it. I'm gonna go ahead and change the color. Let's make these our pink.
Love it.
Okay, now come over here, select motherhood. We're gonna duplicate. We're gonna go to combine, weld, select it again, hit contour. I'm gonna hide all contours, hit the O. I'm gonna select that M because we just did that M, remember? So we're gonna do the O, the R, and the D. Okay, X off of it. This is gonna be our purple. It's our light purple color. I'm just gonna scooch this over as I do it.
Yeah.
So don't go resizing anything right now, okay? Don't resize in the middle of you contouring all these letters out and stuff. That way, everything is perfectly aligned where we
Alicia,
want
do
it
you
to
want to
be.
go back to your first color and get that second O as your inspo?
Do what?
Oh, on Design Space, it looks like the O's are the same color, but on the shirt, it looks different. You see what I mean?
No.
Oh, I guess from this far away, it's yellow. I'm so sorry.
Okay. I was like, wait, what? Okay, I see what you're saying. It's okay. Okay, so then we're just gonna rinse and repeat, y'all. This is our favorite kind of projects because you really learn how to do stuff this way.
Yes.
So duplicate, weld, select it again, contour. We're working our way all the way down. I'm gonna hide all contours, select the T. When you hit hide all contours, that always hides everything except for one thing. So it's gonna default to this M for some, probably because it's the first letter of the word. So click it and make sure it disappears. You can kind of see it down here that it disappears.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna do the T and the H and then hide it. And we're gonna change this to our yellow color. We're using slightly different colors than initially. So if you're like, that's not the right color,
right,
that's why. And then I'm gonna select again for our last section, hit duplicate, hit combine, weld, contour, and then we're gonna do the H and the O. Okay. Oh wait, we didn't hit hide all contours.
Uh-oh.
I was like, why does it look so weird? Okay, so the H and then this O. And that is gonna be our peach color.
Love it.
Okay, just putting the hoe in motherhood. Just kidding. Okay, so and then when we get here, I'm gonna hit align center. And that's gonna do not what I wanted it to do. Okay, so you have to manually line these up as you go, right? And hypothetically speaking, if I just went ahead and cut these, we would have to manually line them up as well again. So I want to show you all like a little hack. I don't personally use this hack a lot, but I think there are people out there who do struggle with lining their HTV up properly. And so that's why I want to show you guys this. So what we're going to do on each of these layers, first of all, let's delete anything we don't need. We don't need any of this, okay?
Right.
So we pretty much have 4 layers at this point. So what I'm gonna do is create 4 boxes, okay? I need 4 boxes. These can be, let's just make them like a 1/2 inch. And I'm gonna actually zoom in a little bit more. Y'all know I work from 1,000 miles away.
Right.
So, and then duplicate. We need 4 of these because we have 4 layers, which means we have 4 colors that we're gonna need to line up. So I'm going to go to our color sync, okay? And we're gonna click and drag each of these squares into each of these color layers, okay? So color sync is right beside layers. So typically this is what you're seeing. If you go over to color sync, you can click and drag these squares into this purple, and look, it changed one of my squares to purple. And then I'm gonna bring it down to the peach layer. I'm sorry, the pink layer. And then I'm gonna bring it down to the yellow layer. And then I'm gonna bring this one down to the peach layer, okay? And now we have a box for every single one. Now, before I go to use these boxes, I wanna make sure that my letters are lined up exactly how I want them, and I'm gonna tell you right now that they're not. I mean, can y'all see how like lumpy and not aligned this is?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go in here and kind of play around with my placement until I get them exactly how I want. Now, one thing you can do in order to make this exactly how you want it is to not have deleted your motherhood. I'm gonna try to recreate that really quick because I want to have some type of guideline. So don't delete your motherhood that you typed out initially. Don't be like me. And just redo our color sync. Okay, we'll just do that. We'll just hit back and then redo our little color sync. And that way you guys get it in your brain twice.
Yes.
Okay, we're going back. Okay, so I'm gonna delete everything except for that initial motherhood. So this is perfect. I like how this is lined up, but if I bring this behind here, I mean, you can tell it's like off. Like it doesn't look good. This is when I wish that Design Space had a lock layers function because I would love to lock that back motherhood right where it is. So I'm gonna use that as my guideline, and then we'll go back in and put those little boxes in. So I'm gonna start with my first letter. You can go back to this layer side and we're gonna select based on our layers over here. It's just easier to select them. And we're just gonna line this up as perfectly as we can. Okay.
And really, when you're layering, when you lay this down, you're going to kind of have to do it again by color.
Yes.
So tell me, are you trying to be perfect?
Yes.
Love it.
We're trying to make it perfect. So this hack honestly really helps more with adhesive vinyl, I feel like, lining up adhesive vinyl, but this will also help you all with HTV as well.
Yeah.
So I have everything lined up. I'm gonna hide my motherhood, okay? We're not gonna delete it in case we need it again later. So I just hit that little eyeball icon and it's gonna hide it, but everything else here is exactly where it needs to be. So I'm gonna go to my shapes. We're gonna create a square again. That's 0.25. This is what we already did. I'm just going over it again because we kind of backtracked.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's zoom in a little bit here. Did I? Yeah, because that seems very small.
Tiny, tiny. There we go.
Even it could be a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
Okay, and then we're gonna duplicate 3 times, and then we're gonna go back to our color sync, and you're just gonna click and drag these under each layer. So each color has its own, what we like to call a registration box. So these registration boxes are gonna help us align everything exactly where it needs to be. Now, what you need to do is put all of these together. Okay, I'm gonna select them all, and we're gonna go align center. So now they're just one stack of squares, okay? And then we're gonna go back to our layers, and I'm going to attach the square to the letters that it matches with. So
yes.
This is our peach layer. And if you want to, you can rename your layers if it makes it easier. Like you can double click on that layer and type in peach layer. And then I'm gonna select the peach square and the peach layer. So hold your shift key down.
This is where layers panel comes in so handy.
Yes. Oh my gosh. And we're gonna attach, okay? Sorry, Lauren's helping me. I get in my own brain. Okay, and then we're gonna do the purple. I think that's the purple layer. Yes. Okay, so purple, and then I'm gonna hold shift, hit the purple square. Hold the purple square and hit attach. Okay,
Look at
and
that.
you'll know that it attached to the right square because that purple square popped to the front of where we
Yes.
aligned all those registration boxes. Okay, and then this is the yellow layer, like the macaroni and cheese yellow. And then I'm gonna hold the shift key down, and then we're gonna attach. Perfect. And then our last layer with this color, and then attach. Beautiful. Now, it looks kind of crazy, but let's go to the make it screen. That's it in Design Space. Moving on, we're going to measure our shirt because I was about to make it and didn't measure it. Rookie mistake. So what we're gonna do, and I'm just honestly, I try to line it up to the mid shoulder. That is like where I like to live. So like 11. Now let's measure this one. Let's measure this one. I'm just curious how wide this one is because I do not remember. This one is 11 and like 3/4 almost, or like 11 and a half-ish. So let's do that, 11 and a half. Okay, so in Design Space, now don't resize these individually, just to be safe. Select it all, and then for width, make sure that the little lock up here is closed. If it looks like that, you need to close it, okay? If we don't, I'm gonna show you what happens. If you leave that open and I type in 11, look at that. No. I don't wanna see any shirts looking like that, okay?
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave a comment on your Facebook post if your shirt looks like that. So let's undo it. I'm gonna select this all, lock it, and then we're gonna hit 11, and look how much better this looks. It's completely proportional. Our letters are not stretched. There's a very rare occurrence that you need to be warping your fonts to make them look skinnier and stuff like that. It's just, don't do it if you don't have to. And then I'm gonna go to make. And then we should have 4 mats. That should be all. We have 4 colors. We should have 4 mats. Okay.
Easy.
And I can hear a lot of you guys saying, well, that's going to take up a lot of space. Well, it's also going to make your shirt look amazing because everything's perfectly lined up.
Yes.
Listen, pick your battle. I want a perfect shirt over
Me too.
more saving vinyl. That's just how I want it. So
Totally.
okay, let's move our shirts to the side. You're going to want to use a standard grip mat or a really nice light grip mat. I have options here, which is great. Let's see. I'm gonna use this first light grip mat. Okay, so we're gonna start out with our pink layer. Now, ooh, she might be close to being enough for me to, let's see. Oh, that's perfect, I think. Oh yeah, that's all I need. Okay, so we're just gonna line this up, and I'm putting my vinyl carrier sheet side down, okay? Or shiny side down sometimes. So that in this case, the carrier sheet is the shiny side. So I'm putting it down, and we're going to mirror our text in Design Space.
Yes.
So burnish this down using a squeegee or a brayer. And then in Design Space, we're going to select mirror right here. Okay. And I'm going to actually scoot it back over to the left side. Now all of these are going to need this. So I'm going to mirror and scooch it over. Mirror. Scooch it over if it needs it, and then mirror. All right, cool beans. Hit continue. Okay, we're gonna cut on everyday iron on. If you go to get your material, when it says set base material and you're like, heat transfer vinyl, you're not gonna find it, okay? Don't ask me why. They call it everyday iron on. If it bothers you, you can make your own cut setting. We're gonna use everyday iron on, same thing. Select that. Default pressure, we're using a 5-point blade today, and I'm just gonna load my machine in. Now make sure you're cutting the right color with the right layer in Design Space. So that's just gonna read the mat, and then it'll let us know when it's ready to go because this little button will start flashing.
Yeah, me too.
I think it's fun when you're crafting to get into a cutting and weeding flow like that.
Yeah.
Okay, everyday iron on. And then we're going to cut it. And y'all, you can do this in different fonts. Script fonts with an arch are like hit or miss. You have to be really particular about which script font you choose and stuff like that. So make sure that it looks good. So the white backer, Lauren thinks that the white backer is the Caesar Sportflex and the purple is Easy Weed, which is very possible also.
Very, very possible.
Okay, so let's trim these off. And y'all, we're almost done.
Woohoo!
We are almost done. No, I can't see.
Love it.
What is cut on this? An H and a T? I can't even, sometimes it's hard for me to see. Oh, there we go. I see it.
Isn't it crazy?
Yes. All right. Beautiful. And then we got to weed these two. I'm going to go ahead and turn my mini easy press on to the second heat setting. So it'll be perfectly ready by the time we need it to be.
One thing I love about the mini easy press is that it's so small that it can heat up so fast. So
the speed it heats up is incredible. Okay. Where's my square at? Where are you? It's easy to start from this square because it's up here at the top and I can kind of get a handle on it. Beautiful, beautiful. So, if you don't have a t-shirt ruler, you can buy them on Amazon.
Yep.
You can even like I would recommend just going on the Cricut Design Space and finding one. You can probably like print and cut, or you probably download one for free off the internet. Honestly.
Oh yeah, and they're on Amazon.
Yeah. Okay.
For like a couple $.
Like you can do a paper one or just plastic. Okay, I'm separating my layers. All right,
Love
so
it.
our vinyl will not stick to one another yet because it's heat transfer vinyl. So the adhesive doesn't activate until we actually apply heat.
Correct.
So I'm gonna put my shirt here. I'm lining it up with the center of my tag. And this is the amount of distance you want between your collar and the top part of your shirt. I'm gonna need to open this shirt up. I don't know what I'm thinking. So we're gonna open it up and I'm gonna actually run the iron over this. It's called a pre-press.
Yep.
Just to heat it up. Make sure there's no wrinkles. You don't want to be applying heat transfer vinyl to a wrinkly shirt.
No.
It will adhere to the wrinkles and then it will not, like you'll have gaps under the vinyl and it will come off when you wash it and things like that.
Exactly.
So at least iron out the area it's going in. And pre-wash any fabrics that may shrink. I know it's a hot topic. I'm telling you, if you don't pre-wash, and the shirt shrinks, it's going to mess your shirt up.
True.
Okay. Let's see here. Let's start with one. Now we may need to move this after we get it all down. But I'm going to start here.
Yep.
Okay. And then I'm going to go to, we're lining our squares up, remember?
Yep, that's the focus today. So you really want between the ruler and just lining the squares up is most important.
You could honestly like do this alignment part first. Oh, my vinyl is lumpy, or my carrier sheet is lumpy. These carrier sheets are sticky today.
Yeah, they are.
Were we just talking about this, how this carrier sheet felt stickier than usual the other day?
I believe we were talking about it with the value material too.
Oh,
like
yeah.
there was some like crazy stuff going on with the value material.
Sticky. Okay. And then line it up to that square.
Love it. Got Photoshop, so would like to understand what things I can do easier in Canva and when Photoshop would be better. So Patricia, what I find is most people who want to use Photoshop really want to use Illustrator if you're in a design like to use with your Cricut. But what's so cool is more and more often I'm seeing way better use of Canva, which is super, super fun.
Okay, there was a protective sheet on that. Okay, so this is like where I want it to be, okay?
Yeah.
But I can't just go in here and willy-nilly iron all this on. So what I'm gonna do, now that I've got it exactly where I want it, it was lined up, I'm going to remove these top 3 layers. I know this just seems like a lot of doing and undoing, and that's just the nature of it, okay? So we're going to remove these top 3 layers, okay? And we're going to iron this one on. You don't need a Teflon sheet. You don't need parchment paper.
No.
The carrier sheet is your protective sheet.
Yeah, it's the magic.
And do not iron your registration box. Okay. In my brain, I want to iron it.
Please do not iron the registration box.
I mean, you could. I guess you could cut it off if you wanted to, but I'm just going to leave it because I want to iron everything on. And then this is a warm peel.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Lauren's giving a note.
Lauren is bossing me around today.
Yeah, she is.
I'm just, I know what you're about to do.
Uh-oh.
I know your brain, Alicia.
What was Alicia about to do?
Cut that.
I know. I need to just cut this.
Cut the corner.
Do as I say, not as I do, everybody.
And leave it exactly where it's at.
There we go. There we go. Thanks for saving me, Lauren. Okay, now we're going to do our... We're just going to line it back up. Just line it back up. Take off these 2 layers. I love those pinks and purples together. Now, this em is exposed, okay? So what I would recommend, so you don't accidentally iron over it, is get your recycled transfer sheet and just lay it right over top of that, okay?
Exactly.
Okay. And then we're just going to go over top of it. Do not go over your registration box.
Do not do the registration box. If this was vinyl, just so everyone's aware, if it's vinyl, you could do it a little bit different. I've taught this, and like sometimes I'll place it down and just peel it up after. But with HTV, it's a no, 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 no.
Oh, see, I did not iron that down. And you got to be careful when you're pulling up your HTV, because if it's down on some parts of this O, but not on others, and I pull it too hard, it will stretch, and it like doesn't unstretch. It looks wrinkly, and I can technically just base this off of our pink square, so I'm gonna peel that. Lauren, come on, just
come on.
Shut your mouth. Okay, I already
Keep it shut from here on out.
I already undid it. Lauren's like, ooh, ooh, ooh. Okay, it's okay. So if you were like me and this were real life, you wouldn't have a registration box. So what I would do is come back in here. See how much harder it is?
It is.
I'm trying to make y'all's life easier, not harder.
Yeah.
I don't want you doing it like me. I want you to do what?
Do not iron that.
I'm not going to. I'm going to put this one up here so we kind of have a little bit more structure. So I'm going to stack these, and then I'm going to move this around. The T's kind of spaced out anyways, like kind of spaced funky, if that makes sense.
Yeah. It's such a blessing and a curse to have the box. Like, I'm very torn right now.
Yeah,
Like,
it is. It is a blessing.
It's very
and a curse.
helpful, but it's also
You can
like,
see,
come
like, it's
on.
kind of a pain.
Yeah,
But, like,
yeah.
also it's very helpful. So,
Yeah.
okay. The T is a little space, and I think it's like that in design space. That's why I'm not like, why it's still so far away.
Yeah.
It's like that whenever we designed it.
So true.
Yeah. Okay. And then slow, warm peel. Honestly, borderline hot peel.
Yeah. Beautiful.
We only have 2 spots to fill, so like it
Heck
can't be
yeah.
that hard, right? We're just gonna line it up.
Love it.
Those colors are so cute.
So fun. Look at it. It's coming together.
Yeah.
And notice how fast it is with the mini Easy Press. Like,
I mean,
so
like
quick.
5 to 10 seconds on each one, if
Yeah.
that.
Not much at all.
Beautiful. And then that is the shirt.
Yay!
How cute. I love these colors. They're like everything. I love it. Okay.
Look at that.
What do you guys think? Here's the original.
So awesome.
I mean,
The colors.
both of these colors are just so cute. All right.
Let's feel it.
Yeah, I
So
love the
fun.
feel of this.
Let's just take a moment to appreciate this layering. So
cute.
Because Alicia did the video all about puff vinyl, our next question was, how can we achieve, like, can we layer puff vinyl, HTV on top of puff vinyl? So we tested, and what do you know? We can, and it looks absolutely amazing. So I am a baseball mom through and through, and this was the design that we came up with. Now, this is not something that you don't have to use like the baseball laces. You can use whatever other element that you want. You could even, if we have any softball moms in here, they have a highlighter yellow puff vinyl that would be so cute on a black t-shirt with red laces to make it look like a softball.
I love that actually.
So many different things that you can do with this. But let's go overhead so that you all can really see like the texture of this puff vinyl and how well it has done on this shirt. I'm obsessed.
It's so cute.
Like, I don't know what else to say other than I'm obsessed. I love it. I love it.
And I think they're coming out with like patterned puff vinyl. So there's potential that you could find like baseball patterned puff vinyl, but like we didn't have it, and we were like just trying to get that, like we wanted it to look like a baseball, and we thought, why not? I mean HTV can be layered, why couldn't you layer puff with HTV? Like,
so we had somebody say soccer mom here. There you could even like find a soccer pattern and do the white puff vinyl and do like the black soccer ball pattern. You could do baseball or basketball with like orange puff vinyl and black laces or black, parts of the basketball. So there's so many things that you can do with this, and really the supplies are pretty minimal. So since we're overhead, obviously we have our puff vinyl. Now I did order puff vinyl in the 12 by 24 sheets. You don't have to get the 12 by 24 sheets. I just felt like this was gonna give me a more of an option, like if I wanted to do a longer word rather than just 12 inches, it gave me more area to work with. So I do have this, like I said, you don't have to have 12 by 24 inch puff vinyl, just 12 by 12 will be fine. It's just your size is gonna have to be smaller. And then we just have some regular HTV here that we're gonna layer on top of this puff vinyl. And then I have my t-shirt. Now today, I'm actually going to be making a little bit of a smaller t-shirt. This is, I'm gonna be making a shirt for my little boy today, Asher. So I'm just gonna put his name on there. But what I'm going to show you guys is start to finish what I did, how I sized everything, the fonts and cut files that I used, and how I got all of my laces to line up so that I don't have to go in there and individually place them on top of these letters. Okay? So we have our t-shirt, puff vinyl, regular HTV, and then I brought in a 12 inch and a 12 by 24 inch mat. Once again, you do not have to have a 12 by 24 inch mat. This is, and really and truly, I probably won't use the 12 by 24 inch mat because this is going to be on a youth size shirt. So I'll probably just need the 12 by 12. But if you are working with the 12 by 24 inch piece of puff HTV, I would probably suggest you have a 12 by 24 inch mat. But other than that,
I like my designs on my shirts to fill up the whole shirt.
So we'll just go ahead and hop over to the share screen. And you can see here that I have my mom. This is already set up, sized, whatever. And I was working on Asher's name here. And actually, it's in two separate layers right now. So, but what we're gonna do is I'm gonna work with you guys start to finish and walk you through how we do this, okay? So first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna hop over to the Makers Gonna Learn website, And since we're already here on fonts, I'll just show you what font we are using. We are not using Saturday Night. I got confused. We are using...
Can you tell we use that one a lot?
Groovy Moves.
We also use that one a lot.
We do use Groovy Moves a lot. It has become a kind of an office favorite here. We do love using the kind of retro fonts right now. They're super trendy. However, I want to show you guys another font that you could use for this if you are creating this, let's say, for a little boy or a dad or whatever. I feel like Groovy Moves is a little bit more on the girly side.
Yes.
But another one that you all could use, I think Brock the Jock
Love this font.
would be really, really good. Really and truly, you need to use a block letter font, so a thicker font, no matter what you all use. You don't have to use Groovy Moves. You don't have to use those. But if you are doing this, it's going to work best with a blocky font, something that is super, super thick. So we'll just go back. Like I said, we are going to be using Groovy Moves today. If you all do not know how to download the fonts from our website, all you have to do, click this down arrow here. It will pop up in the bottom. It is going to pop up as a zip file. You're going to double click that, and then you are going to double click it again, and then you'll hit install font. Now, this is already installed into our font book, so I'm not going to install. If you are not working with a Mac or an iMac and you are working with a Windows computer, it's the same process. Unzip that file, install it into your character map. Super, super easy. Now, we're going to go back to our website. We're going to go to our cut file section, and we are just going to search baseball. So, just so you all know, there are multiple cut files within our library that you can use for this project. So for example, you can use this out of your league because we're gonna get rid of everything else but these laces. You can use this word love. It has those red laces in there. One thing you can't do, this cut file right here, if you notice, all of this is black, which automatically tells me that this is probably all gonna be one layer. So separating these laces out is gonna be almost impossible. Like it would be very, very hard. So that is one that would not be a very good one to use. You have this one here. You could use those. Those are wavy laces. You could do that if you want to. Hay batter, we can see that these laces are not connected to this black. That would be one that's easily used. But I want to show you the one that I don't know where it's at.
I used the wavy flag laces when I was testing.
So we have one in our actual cut file library on Cricut that is just this baseball. So we're just going to use the out of your league. So we're going to download that. It is going to come in as a zip file, so we need to open that up. If you do have a zip file, you need to unzip it before you upload it into Design Space. So once we have unzipped that file, we're going to go back to Cricut. We're going to go to Upload. We're going to upload an image. I like to browse. Some people drag and drop. We're going to open up this zip file, and I'm wanting the SVG version. So we're going to open that up, upload that, and then it will be ready to use. Once we have uploaded that, we're going to add this to our canvas. And you can see here, if you look at our layers panel, I know I have a lot of layers here. So y'all, let me just go ahead and do this real quick so we break down our layers panel. So out of your league, right here, we're going to make this bigger so you all can see. So you can see that we are working with 3 different layers on this cut file. We have our black layer, we have our league layer, and then we have our red layer, or laces. So we want to get rid of everything but the laces because the laces are what we're going to be working with. So literally all I'm going to do, you don't have to, the cool thing about this update with Cricut that they've done recently is you can work with each singular layer here without having to ungroup the file. So all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna select each layer that I do not want, starting with League, and I'm just gonna hit delete, backspace on my keyboard. Same thing here, I don't want this black layer, delete it out. And then here is what we are left with. This is what we want to use, this is what we are working with. So now we have manipulated that file to extract the pieces that we want to work with. And now what I want to do, because I even want to take it a step further, and I want to work with the top lace. So let me rotate this around for you guys so we can. So I want to work with this top lace separate from this bottom lace. So what I like to do, and some people like to do this differently, it's going to be completely up to you guys. You can bring in a square, slice it out, whatever. What I have been doing recently is just coming and like duplicating it. So now I have 2 sets, and now I'm just gonna contour. So the first set, I'm gonna contour out one side, done. And the second set, I'm going to contour out the other side. So now I have both the laces, but I can manipulate and move them separate.
This is a perfect example because me and you always have this conversation of why you would still need the slice function and as well as the combine functions.
Yes.
This is perfect because you cannot use exclude, subtract,
Yes.
intersect. You can't use that to separate those layers, but you can use the contour or the slice
Yes.
here. And you're not going to lose the other half of the image.
And you're really gonna see where slice is going to come in handy when we get into manipulating and getting these laces where we want them, okay? So once we have our laces ready to go, I've kind of got them to the side, okay? What we're gonna do is we're gonna grab our text box. And this is coming up click clack automatically because that's what I used yesterday. If you all missed yesterday's video, that's definitely one to go back and rewatch. We did some really great teacher gifts for you guys.
They're so cute.
And me and Tanner actually crafted together at the craft table, so it was really fun.
We need to do that more often. I think that I love that setup.
Agree. Like, that's something that we talked about yesterday. Did you all enjoy having 2 people present crafting at the same time? Or do you all really like focusing in on one person crafting? Definitely drop us your comments. Let us know, because it might be something we like change up every now and then and have 2 people crafting together.
And we actually started kind of incorporating it in our master classes some when we were doing file releases, but we weren't crafting.
No, we were just kind of sitting here
It was like
our little news desk, like talking to you guys. So back to our share screen. We are going to go to our fonts. We're looking at system fonts, and we are going to be using Groovy Moves today. So I'm going to pull in Groovy Moves. I'm gonna size it up for you guys. Obviously, we are not gonna cut it this big, okay? We're just so you guys can see this a lot better. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna type in my name, whether that be mom, dad, someone's name, whatever. So we'll just go with Asher just because that is what who I'm making this for today is for my little boy. 9 times out of 10, you all know if you've been around me and Alicia, one of the golden rules when you're manipulating stuff is you do not touch that lock button when you're resizing, right?
When you're resizing fonts or shapes. Any.
Well, today we are going to be breaking that rule.
Yeah.
Because there are some fonts that I think, depending on your design, look a little bit better when they're taller and skinnier almost. So back to Design Space. Let's zoom in, and I'm gonna size Asher down, and I want to show you guys right next to each other. So we're going to zoom in here. Do you all see the difference here and here?
Yes.
I feel like, I'm not saying like I think this bottom looks good, but for the design that we are working with, because a t-shirt is a lot, most of the time they're always taller than they are wider. And because, especially if you have a longer name, what you're gonna do is you're gonna unlock it, and then we're just gonna stretch it just a little bit and pull it in until you're happy. And I know that's hurting your heart, Alicia, and I'm sorry.
But it does look good.
But you can't say that it doesn't look good.
No, it does. It looks really good, but I'm like, be careful.
You don't want to do it too much. You don't want to do it too much. But I think it looks good.
We'll allow it for this tutorial, but if we catch you guys doing that in another tutorial, we're coming for you.
Yeah, no. This is not an all the time thing. This is just a few times every so often.
There's got to be some exceptions, some places.
Yeah, we will, this is the one exception that we will work with, okay? So, now that we have our name sized the way that we want it, okay, you can now resize without having to unlock, but I still just really like the unlock. That way I can manipulate from the corner and not have to do here and then in and then up. When I unlock it, I can just hit this one button and go all directions. I can swivel all directions. That is why I still like the unlock. So once it's done, we're gonna lock this bad boy back together, okay? We're locked together. Now what I'm going to do, the next step, and this is a lot more important than you think, and you'll see why when it comes to placing our laces, okay? We are going to go to advanced, and we are ungrouping this layer to letters. We want all of these different letters to be individual, but we're still not gonna move them. Actually, looking at this, I may take this R and use my keyboard and move it out just a tad, because it was way too close to the E. So now what we're gonna do, now that we have all of our letters ungrouped to letters, we are going to take our laces and I'm gonna move them to the front of our layers, so they're gonna be in front. And before I start doing anything, I can already tell you these laces are a little big for these letters right now. I'm just gonna size them down a little bit. And before I start placing them on each individual letter, I'm gonna duplicate that one and this one, and you'll understand why here in a minute. Leave those up in the corner because we're not ready for them yet, but duplicating them is very important, okay? If you're taking notes, duplicate your laces before we move on to the next step. Now, I'm gonna be able to take my laces here and I can manipulate them and turn them and move them however I want to along this letter, and then move this one up here. We may turn this one a smidgen there. And I like, if you look at this one, I like having the laces like facing all different directions.
Yeah, me too. I think it looks good like that.
I think it looks good. It's not super uniform, but I still think it gives the effect of like the baseball.
Right.
And I wouldn't want them the same all the way across. I don't think the same all the way across would look good because all of the letters are different. So now that we have, let's say, these laces placed where we want to, we are going to select one set of laces, and then, so there's a couple different ways you can do this. You can, oh, Carol said, I just learned dragging those layers to the top of the layers panel moves it to the front. Yes. So let's talk about how I just did that. So before, our laces were back here. Let's move this one down. So you see how I can't see those laces behind that A, because on our layers panel, we have Asher on the top of those laces. So you don't have to go to, you can go to arrange, bring to front, and it moves it up. Or you can just take your layers here, click, and drag to the front.
Honestly, it's a little bit faster.
I like clicking and dragging.
Because you can like place it exactly where you want it on your canvas. Like
Yes.
if you wanted it between two layers, like you could do that, or
Yes.
you can put it wherever you want.
Yes. So what I was doing is we are selecting our bottom, but what I was saying is there are a couple different ways you can do this. You can click and then hit command and click your second layer. So you can see here, you can do it on your canvas or you can do it from your layers panel. Because we have so many layers here, you can see working with your layers panel when you have so many layers can sometimes get confusing. So you can click and then command click the other one, or for this one, we can just drag and drop here in the corner and I have the 2 layers selected that I wanted. So this is where the slice function is going to come in super, super handy. And I know when I was creating this, there are 2 different ways that you can do this. You can duplicate the name and then slice out your laces and then bring them to center. But what I want to show you guys here is just the way that my brain works, not necessarily the way your brain is gonna work, okay?
I already know how you're about to do this, and I think I did mine differently. But I'm glad. I'm glad you're doing it. This is probably the way normally that I would do it, but I did it differently like recently.
Okay, let's go ahead and I'll show you both ways you can do this. I really don't want to confuse you guys. But
Just do it your way. Just do it your way. And then we can tell them the other way.
Well, let me just do this. Let me do this, duplicate this, and we're just gonna pull it down here.
You'll have a backup at least.
And we'll just have a backup. We're going to unite this, and then we'll just hide this, okay? And I'm gonna pull it down to the bottom. That way it's out of the way. Oh, I brought it into that unite. Okay. This way it's out of the way. It's not gonna be there. Just joke, just kidding. Okay.
There she is.
I think I hid the wrong Asher. I did. I need to pull this one up.
Please hold.
Please hold. Please hold while I connect your
Stacy
call.
says, well, sorry, I have to admit I manipulate fonts like that all the time. Whatever works best to make it fit. That's true.
Yes, listen, Stacy, we get it. But there are some fonts when people will manipulate them, they don't look good like that. So
there's no rule. There's no rule. It's just a pet peeve of ours. And and if I'm sure that your projects look great. Hopefully we did.
Sure, they look absolutely amazing. So what we're doing now is we are selecting one set of laces and the A. Okay. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to slice that. Not touching anything, come back up here, drag and drop the second set of laces. Oh, you see I grabbed that S and the A. Here you go. And we're gonna slice again. So now we have all of these slice results that are outside that A that I want to delete. So this is a slice result I want to delete, gone. This is a slice result I want to delete, gone. Okay? Now, what I have been doing is grabbing that A, and this is where slice comes in handy, where the other combined functions do not. Once again, this is just how my brain works. This is not necessarily how you all have to do it. So what I did is grab that A that I just sliced out, hold the Command or Control key on your keyboard, select the second gray layer that we sliced out, and then select that third layer we sliced out. And then I come down here to combine and I unite them back together. You can see they're back together, and then I just merge those layers so that now I have the A and I can move those slice results back in front of the A.
Becky, I did not know that's what you were about to do.
What did you think I was about to do?
I don't know, but I did not know you were going to merge that letter back together. That was,
yes.
I like that that's a hack, y'all.
Yes, I like merging that letter back together. So
rather than duplicating it and having like 2 separate images of the same letter.
Which, once you merge, just so you guys know, go back to camera 1. I don't know if that is new with Design Space, merging that layer, that A back together. That's going to do the same thing as weld.
Right.
So I could have actually just hit weld.
Yeah.
And done the same thing.
Yeah.
But it's just how I didn't realize that merge layers was a thing. Mm-hmm. So I just saw that a while ago. So really and truly, I could have cut out another step and just hit weld. Or the other way that you can do this, and we'll do this with the S. So this is why I duplicated these laces, so I have them ready to go with the S. So now I'm gonna duplicate them again and keep them up. I don't need that one. We're gonna duplicate the top one and duplicate the bottom one again, so they're up there in the corner. And then I'm going to come in here, move this lace and manipulate it where I want it. And then bring this guy in, manipulate it where I want it. And then same thing, selecting those 2 layers, we are gonna slice. And then selecting these 2 layers, we're gonna slice again. So now, one thing you could do is you could actually delete out all of the gray and unwanted red layers, and you're just left with that, which would fit into the S, and then you could do the whole name that way, combine all your laces, and then bring it over top of that second Asher.
Do you want to know what I would do?
What?
I don't know if I would do it now because I like your technique, but what I would have done is got all of the letters, placed all of my laces, and then selected all of it and hit exclude. Because you can exclude like 50 layers. There's like no limit. The only thing would be where your lace overlaps your H. Like you would have to make sure that your laces aren't touching the other letters, which might be hard because the letters are so close together.
Yes.
But that's just, I don't want to confuse you guys. That's just what my brain was doing. But I really, really like this technique. This is great.
Yeah.
So there's many ways you can get the result. Like, don't feel obligated to one direction because you guys can do lots of different ways.
There are 10,000 ways to skin a cat.
Right.
We all know this. Mm-hmm. But now you can see we can place them all individually.
I love it.
Okay.
It's looking good.
So this is just a rinse and repeat process. Before you do that, you want to duplicate. Make sure you duplicate your layers. Duplicate that guy. He's going to come up there, and then we're just going to select those 2, slice. Select the bottom 2, slice. We're going to weld these gray layers back together, and then delete out the red layers we don't want. Bring those 2 layers up front.
And if you all are feeling lost at all, one thing is that this will be on the channel so you guys can go back and rewatch it as many times as you need to. Lauren's about to repeat this process 2 more times. So at that point, she'll have it done 5 times. So you guys are going to be able to see it done multiple times. I'm not going to talk. I'm going to let you do the next letter fully through.
Okay. So I was afraid that this was going to happen, trying to show you the 10 different ways you can get to this point. So let's go back to our first way. I want to make sure, Kelly, that I bring you up to where we're at. I don't want you all to feel lost. I don't want anybody to feel lost, because once you see and understand working with layers and bringing those back together, merging them together, it really is, it's my favorite way to manipulate things. So I know we've done a lot of duplicating. We've done a lot of slicing. We've done a lot of welding. So let's talk about what each function does so that you understand it. Because I don't know about you guys, but I'm the type of person, if you tell me how to do something, I'm sure I could recreate it, but I've not learned how to do it because I don't understand it. So I want you guys to understand what it is doing while we do it, so that hopefully in the future you're like, okay, Lauren said that the slice function is like this, so I can take this and do this. Okay?
Right.
So we're going to slow it down. We have 2 more letters that we're going to work with. And because the pressing and the cutting part, it's a breeze. It takes no time at all. Okay? So we have our set of laces. Before we manipulate these to fit these on the E, I'm going to duplicate. You're going to hit duplicate on each one of them. Okay? We're going to leave those up there. Those are for the R. Okay? Are you with me? So now we're going to place our bottom lace wherever you want it. Really doesn't matter. Okay? And then here, we're going to move it around and place this one where we want it. Okay? So, go back to 1. The next thing we're going to be doing is we're going to slice. So when you slice, I want you to think of it, you can only slice 2 layers at a time. Cookie cutter is the one way that I absolutely love explaining what slice is. So if you have a cookie cutter in this hand, you're going to slice it through. Can you slice it through 4 layers of dough? Nope. because the cookie cutter is not thick enough to slice through 4 layers of dough. A cookie cutter is made to slice through 1 layer of cookie dough, okay? So you have your cookie cutter in this hand, which is your slice function, and it's a layer in and of itself, so it's 1 layer. And then we have our second layer here, which is our cookies, our dough, cookie dough, and we're gonna take our cookie cutter and we're just gonna slice it out. So everything is gonna stay the same. When I pull that up, that's all gonna look the same. Nothing changes until we remove the outside of that cookie dough. Does that make sense? I think that's the best example that I can think of to explain what slice does. So our slice function here, cookie dough here, if we're wanting to slice a heart out of a single layer of cookie dough, we take that heart slice, we press it down on that layer, we pull it back out, we still have all this surrounding cookie dough, and we have our heart in there, we just have to get rid of everything outside of it, okay? So let's go back to Design Space. So we have our cookie cutter layer here. We're gonna call our laces our cookie cutter, and we're gonna call our E our cookie dough. So we're gonna select both of those. Okay, you see here it is, and here our E is. We have both of those selected, and we're gonna take that cookie cutter and we're gonna put pressure on it and we're gonna slice it out. So we're gonna hit slice. So we see it's cut that out. Let's zoom in so we can see it. So you can see our cookie cutter has done the job it was supposed to do. We just have to get rid of all of that excess that we don't want. So we're gonna call this lace our excess that we don't want. So we're gonna make sure it's selected. You can see on our layers panel, it is selected, and we're gonna delete that out. But the problem with this here is that if I move this, and I'll move it, and because I've already got the other Asher ready to cut, so I'll move it so we can see. So let me move this guy here. We have our red layer, but look, that cookie cutter cut through our E too. But we don't want it to cut through our E, because if we were to go to make it right now, that's what it would cut out, and we don't necessarily want that. So we're gonna just click undo. We're gonna put that back in there, okay? So that is why after I slice, I don't move anything, and I go back and I select all of my gray layers over here and put them back together. So welding back together is like when you weld metal, you're gonna put it back together and make it stronger, okay? Kathy says, could you use any of the new combined features to make it easier? So the issue with using some of the new combined features is, I don't know if you noticed, but when I was putting these laces together, it would overlap this letter and then overlap my other letter, and I didn't necessarily want that, but I wanted the laces to look thick and chunky. So that's why I like using this method and work on each individual letter separate than all letters together. So there are ways you can do that, 100% ways you can do that. But for today's tutorial, we're going to do it this way. So Christine asked, would subtract work? Well, let's try it. So we're going to, first thing I need to do before I do subtract is I need to bring these layers back together. So we're going to talk about weld or the combine feature. So what I want to do, you can work from your layers panel. This is your E with the laces cut out, and this is the gray laces here. You can select both of those. You can drag and drop whatever your heart desires, but we're going to make sure that both of those are selected. So now let's talk about these combined functions, okay? So unite is what has pretty much replaced weld. You can unite this and it will bring it back together, but then what would happen was you could still manipulate each one of these two each one of these 2 layers. So let's just go ahead and do that. Unite. You can see it all looks nice and pretty together. No lines inside here. But if I wanted to, I can still select that and move it around. Not really something that I want to do, but it can be done. So that's what the combine function is. 9 times out of 10 anymore, when we use combine, weld, things like that, we use combine strictly because we can come in here and manipulate it again. But this is an instance where I know for a fact I don't want to manipulate this anymore. I'm done. I just want that E 100% put back together. I need it to be permanent. Okay? So that is where you can go to weld. You could skip the step, not do unite, weld it back together. Okay? But I just wanted to show you guys what, once you hit weld, you can't undo it. The only way you can undo weld is if you hit it and then hit this back button. But once you unite it, there is this new section here, merge layers. That's the same thing as weld. It's just after you unite it, you can merge those layers and make them all the same. Okay? So we're just going to merge them back together. And now you see it's all one layer again. It's nothing, I can't manipulate that little lace in there. Can't do that anymore. Somebody asked us, could we not just use exclude? So let's try it out. Why not try it out? So I think this is the layer we want to work with. Yes. So I have brought this lace all the way to the front. Okay. I want it here. So we're going to, ooh, this is why I don't like we don't want to do that. So I'm going to select this from my layers panel so that it doesn't move. We're going to do both of these combined. You said exclude is the one you wanted or subtract?
Exclude is what I would used.
This is the issue with exclude though.
Right.
That's the issue we get with exclude. It has excluded the center part but left the outside pieces.
Because the stitch is overhanging.
Right, because the stitch is hanging over everywhere else.
So then you should use intersect because that's where the 2 layers would meet. It would leave. I was thinking I used exclude, but do intersect and see what happens.
Intersect
Okay.
gets rid of my E.
It does, but if you duplicate the word, you would have them already, if that makes sense.
Well, I liked seeing both of the layers, so that's what I do. Slice, get rid of the slice that I don't want, and bring my letters back together.
It does make it a lot easier to see what you're doing. I honestly, I prefer this method. This is the best way you could probably do it. And if y'all figure out a way that you like it better, do it that way. But like, if you don't know a good method, this is a really good one to go with. Like just following exactly how Lauren's doing it.
So now I think we're off just a smidgen, but it's okay. We're not going to use this one anyway. Okay. So now we are selecting, once again, we're going to use our cookie cutter. We're selecting our E, and here we're going to cookie cut that out. We're going to get rid of this outside piece we don't want. You see that? And then we're just going to take these gray layers that's behind that red. So if I bring this up, you see that gray layer? We're going to select the gray layers, and then we're just going to weld them back together. Kathy, yeah, you know what? It's a little bit tedious, but once you get the results, like once you have everything you need, like especially if you're doing a generic mom, dad, baseball mom, soccer mom, whatever, you can just recreate this. You don't have to do a name and do this every single time. Let's say you wanted to sell these shirts and you wanted to sell baseball mom or whatever, just create that mom. It may take a few minutes on the front end designing it, but on the back end, it's just going to be a duplicate, like a rinse and repeat process, okay? So we're all here, and it really isn't, once you know your technique and how to do this, it's super quick. Like, I'm pretty sure, how long did it take me sitting out there while we were eating? Like 5 minutes to do Asher's name?
Listen, whenever we first were doing this project, I whipped it so hard the first time. It didn't take that long at all. Okay, so we're just going to do this super fast, because I really want to talk to you guys about the next step.
That is going to be very important, okay? So we are just doing our R. We're selecting those 2 layers, slice, cookie cutter to slice, bottom 2, slice. See, this is how I did it very fast. Delete out my outside layers, delete out my outside, pick, oh, see, I deleted that one out on accident.
Undo.
Undo, pick all my gray layers here, combine, weld them together, and then bring these 2 layers in front of that gray layer. Okay? That's how
10.5 seconds.
Yes, yes. So now what you want to do, because look at our layer panel, how long this is, right? We want to attach all of these back together. So we're gonna start selecting our letters A, S, H, E, and R, okay? 2 different ways you can do this. You can attach them if you want to. So we'll hit attach, and you can see they're all together, right? I wanna explain to you what attach is. Attach, I want you to think of attach as a paper clip. A paper clip is what? Removable. It's not permanent, but it still keeps all of your papers together. It's not a staple. Not saying staples are removable, but staples are a little bit more permanent than a paper clip. So think of attach. That's why they've used that paper clip symbol. It's very, very intentional that they use the paper clip, because they want you to realize that a paper clip is removable. You can keep your pack of papers together, put your paper clip on, and that's going to keep it the same all the way through the process. It's going to keep your papers together through every single process that paper clip is. But once you save it, you can come back and remove that paper clip and still work and manipulate if you want to, okay? So that is why attach might be beneficial to you all, especially if you want to, if you are selling these and making like super custom names, you can already have, you can do the full alphabet, A, B, C, whatever, and attach like your letters together, and then come in and detach them, and then just duplicate the letters you need and put them together if you wanted to. But that's why I wanted to make sure you all know what attach is. I want you to think of it as a paper clip that can be taken off if you want to, or put back on. So,
and they're gonna stay exactly where they're at on the canvas when you go to your make it mat. So like if you just group these together,
yep,
they would not stay together. You have to attach them or they're gonna float around everywhere.
So now we're gonna do the same thing for the red layers. All of our laces, we're gonna select all of our laces. Now they are just right behind. I don't wanna move this because I wanna show you guys what happens when you do this. They're just right behind our letters. We just can't see them right now. But we're just gonna make sure all of our red laces are selected here. Attach, boom. They're right back where they need to be. Okay?
Love it.
Are we good?
Yes.
So once we're done there, I'm actually gonna be working with this one, so I'm just gonna delete this guy out down here. And I'm gonna hide my mom. Okay?
That's very nice.
Huh?
Hide your mom.
I'm gonna hide my mom. I'll hide my mom. So now, once you're done, we're gonna go to, no, we're not. We're gonna go back. We're gonna cancel that. And we're gonna size our t-shirt before we go to make it. So let's go overhead. And I'm going to size my t-shirt. So we are working with a, let's see, take my handy dandy, Maker's gonna learn measuring tape here. I am comfortable working within, I'd say about 10 inches, 11 at most.
You don't want it to go into their like armpits.
No,
That's
no.
what I always
So
think
you
about.
need to be careful when you are sizing t-shirts to keep it within this area, because a lot of times once you start getting over here, it's just gonna go down into the armpit, especially if you're working on ladies t-shirts. Be very, very super aware of that, please. Ladies, you know our issues, you know. The Lord blessed us. So you just wanna make sure you keep it within this range right here, whether you're working with a youth size, an adult, whatever. So for a youth size t-shirt, I would probably be comfortable working within 10 inches. So I'm just gonna go back to Design Space. And we're going to select both of these, and we see I have it at 16 inches. I don't need it. I'm actually just gonna go to my width, and I'm gonna type in 10. And that right there is exactly what I want, which makes my letters 2.8, 2 1/4, a little over 2 3/4. That's not too small. Once you go overhead, you can see, like, I thought that it was 2 inches, so I was like, oh my gosh, 2-inch letters are tiny, but it's really more like 2 3/4, a little over 2 3/4, so that'll be really good for this t-shirt.
Yeah, that'll be cute.
So we're working with 10 inches. Now that we have it sized, we are then gonna go to make it. And you can see it will fit perfectly on our 12 by 12 mat. I don't know about you guys, but I actually despise the fact that Cricut automatically thinks our mats are 12 by 24
Somebody needs
now.
to call Cricut and let them know what's going on.
We don't like it.
Hello? I feel like that'd be such an easy fix.
It would be.
Like me, like I know how to code design software. I'm like,
Yeah.
you could just fix it.
Just fix it.
It's been the opposite way for my whole life.
I know. So I have mirrored both of these images, okay? Now, for mom, in case you all are aware, you can spell mom the same forward and backwards. And I actually forgot to, in case you all weren't aware.
And upside down.
And upside down, wow. I forgot to mirror the first one, but it still came out fine because I didn't mirror either one of them. But definitely make sure you mirror your design, okay? We good. Now we're gonna go to continue. I don't know, Cricut, I am connected to my Explorer 3. So I'm now going to, let's see, will it fit? Let's go back. I wanna see if I can use this. 10. I think I can, y'all. I think I can. I can use this piece. I can just use this piece. I don't have to cut anything off of that 12 by 24 inch piece. I'm gonna cut this little guy off the side real quick.
Wilma says that you can change it in the settings. Well, Wilma, here I go. I'm gonna go fix mine. I have piddled around. Y'all, honestly, I get in here and then I don't remember to fix it until I go to make something and I'm like, that's annoying. And then I forget to fix it. So I'm just gonna go to my settings.
So Diane says hers does not revert. Oh, Wilma says it's under settings, load type. Y'all, this is why I absolutely adore this community, because not only do we feel like we get to teach you all, but y'all teach us. Like, we're learners, we are crafters and learners just like you all. So anything, like, teach us all the things. We want to know, because although we do it every day, there are certain things that we really, really miss.
Well, I fixed it. Thanks, Wilma. I appreciate you. Genuinely.
Wilma's the
Shout
MVP
out.
of today.
Yeah, gold star. Gold star.
Triple gold star.
This has been on our nerves for like 3 weeks now.
Okay, so Denise said, on specific vinyl, do you cut on the shiny side or on the matte side? I'm glad you asked that, because this is what we're fixing to talk about. With this little piece that I cut off, I'm gonna show you guys why it is important with your puff vinyl to check which side is the carrier sheet. So the carrier sheet is the side that has the, and I'm gonna grab this weeding tool. Y'all, I cleaned the paint with this weeding tool earlier, so we're gonna, anyway. So the carrier sheet is the sheet that keeps our vinyl down. So on this, I don't know if you can tell, look at this. Let's just talk about, if you were just cutting this vinyl, we always say shiny side down, right? For vinyl, or HTV, we always say shiny side down. So look, we have a shiny side and we have a matte side. So what would you all do? Place it shiny side down with that matte side facing up.
Right,
It's
every
what I
time.
did the first time.
Yep.
I was so confused. But I want you to look at this. So when we take the corner of our HTV and peel it, try to peel it away, we take, and it just came off. Let me try to get it one more time. Look, I'm gonna peel most of this off.
Y'all should have seen me and Lauren detaching the
The
carrier
matte
sheet.
side is the carrier sheet.
Yes.
The shiny side is the back. That's the adhesive on the back of this vinyl. Normally the adhesive is matte on HTV, but this time the matte is the carrier sheet and the shiny is the adhesive.
And listen, I don't know if you
So
want to
look.
show them that reference guide, because I put a little asterisk and it literally says, always cut puff vinyl with the carrier sheet facing down and you press with the carrier sheet up.
Yes.
So I don't know if you want to show them where they can find it, because I have to refer back to it still because.
Let's cut all of this, and then when we press it, we'll go back and look at the
settings.
at it. Okay. So now that we have discovered, like we've talked about, it's carrier sheet down, and for this instance, the carrier sheet is a matte carrier sheet. We are going to select done, and y'all, I just cut this on everyday iron-on setting. Very simple. I am gonna burnish this down because I did not burnish this down a while ago. We just gone, oh snap, crackle, pop. What did I just do?
I can't see. It's fine.
No, it's not
Was
fine.
something cut out of it already?
No, I just burnished too hard.
Oh, that's weird. It looks like it was like cut up.
No,
Well.
no, I just burnished too hard. Well, okay, let's go back and see if we can fit this bad boy in here. Let's
I
go
bet
back
you
to
can.
edit.
Yeah.
It's at 3. No,
Really?
I don't think so.
Oh, man.
I might can move it down to the 6.
There you go.
Or maybe I can just turn it a little sideways.
Lauren is now trying to fit the name so we avoid the little nick in the vinyl.
Okay. Yeah, we're just gonna do it like that. I think
Yeah.
that'll work.
That's fine.
3, 10.
Y'all don't like when we waste vinyl, so you're welcome.
No, that ain't gonna work either. I don't think it's gonna fit.
You tilt it the other way.
Maybe. 6 inches. 3.
So
It just really worries me.
Yeah, I know. After all this work, we don't want to mess it up. So the
Okay.
carrier sheet on the puff vinyl feels almost like vellum paper. If you guys have
Yes.
ever used vellum paper for like cards and things, it's like a really soft, just a matte paper. So it doesn't feel like that shiny, glossy feel.
Yeah.
Also, if you guys are here and you're watching this tutorial today and you're like, oh my gosh, this is so much fun. We have a boot camp coming up next week. It's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It will stay on the channel for you all to watch till the end of the month, and then it goes member only exclusive content. But you all can sign up for free. You just have to sign up through the link, and we will send you the files we're going to use, the fonts we're going to use, and you guys can come and do some Design Space tutorials with us. So it's going to be a little bit more beginner friendly. We wanted them to be more beginner friendly, so we're doing like a card, we're doing a tea towel using simple fonts, and we're also doing a keychain with layered vinyl. So
Yes.
lots of fun projects. It's gonna be a good time.
A
You can't
really
be
good
there. I
time.
mean, you can watch it. You don't
Or
have
be
to
square, either one.
Yeah, be there or be square. So it's going to be really fun if you guys are wanting to do that. Sadie dropped a link, and there's a link pinned in the chat box, so you guys can just click the link in the chat box.
Okay, so I just cut me a new little piece of vinyl, and while that is cutting, let's go to camera 1. We do have our heat press set at 280 degrees. This needs to be pressed at a lower temperature. So we are going to be pressing at 280 degrees, and I'm going to try to get this tape off so I can get us another piece of this red vinyl ready to go on our mat. You can use an easy press instead of a heat press. I would just suggest using a larger easy press, not the mini, which we
Yes.
normally do. We love the mini, but I just don't know with this one. And then I'm just cutting, this is just regular HTV, cutting it on everyday iron-on, the same as our puff. Putting this in here, loading it. Now, let's weed our puff vinyl, y'all.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. It is so easy to weed.
You would say this is probably, like, it feels thicker than normal HTV, right?
It does feel thicker than normal HTV, but that everyday iron-on setting cuts through it beautifully.
Yeah, it's like butter.
Butter.
And it's probably because it's Caesar brand, but it weeds so good.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
I love it.
And then, boom. So hard. Being so facetious, y'all.
Did you guys know that they have puff screen print ink? Lauren knows because
Yeah.
you've used it. But
Yeah,
just another way to get the puff effect. You can screen print.
you can screen print. Okay. So now that's going to take that a minute to cut through that. And then both vinyls are puff. No, we're actually using regular HTV on top of puff HTV. Yes. Which setting is 280 on easy press? This is why I probably wouldn't use the mini because you can't get a specific number on the mini easy press.
You can't adjust the temperature.
You can't adjust the temperature. It's just like low, medium, and high.
Yeah.
Hey, while that's cutting, do you want to run out there and grab that youth t-shirt guide?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, I'm just pre-pressing this to get any wrinkles out. Just a quick pre-press.
I just
Nothing
walked
very.
in front of the camera. I literally was dashing. I'm so sorry. Oh,
It's okay. It's okay. Yes, Wilma, HTV on top of puff. That is what we are doing today. HTV on top of puff. And now we're going to have a big Birkenstock shoe print on our mat.
Shout out Temu for this youth t-shirt guy.
Yeah, shout out to Temu.
That's from a Temu haul.
Can you do HTV and then puff? That's something we haven't done, but
I believe you can. And you can
I
layer
think you
puff on
could.
puff too.
yeah.
Yeah, you can do it.
I mean, if you can layer the regular HTV on puff, I don't see why, because I'm pressing both the HTV and the puff at the same setting and pretty much the same time, like 8 to 10 seconds for each one.
Right.
So now I'm going to weed out our laces. Now you all know me, and you know that I love to save as much vinyl as possible. However, when it comes to trying to save this vinyl, like you could have, if you wanted to, like left these laces individual, cut them out, place them all out. But like that puzzle is not one that I want to deal with when I can just weed this so easy like this and literally just go in there. And I think I tore off no I didn't, that's just the letter. Thought I tore off a lace. So this is one that, you know, we are wasting some vinyl, but keeping it all together so that you can just lay it on top makes it so much easier. It really makes your life, I'm telling you, it makes your life so much easier. So now you can see we have, and I'll show you, we have our regular HTV layer cut out and our puff layer. And look how beautifully those go together.
That's gorgeous.
I just love it. Love it.
I love like baseball themed things.
Me
like
too.
I love the colors. I like that most of the time it looks vintage.
Yep.
Like I'm just into baseball. I'm into it.
Okay. Just as clarification, the white is going to be puff vinyl, and I'll press it. I'll pull it off the press and show you guys what it looks like before I put the HTV on it. Okay. So this is going to be puff vinyl. This is just regular, the laces are just regular heat transfer vinyl, okay? Is it going to flatten the puff where the HTV is? Wilma? No.
Nope.
It does not. It's still very beautiful. Very, very beautiful. Okay. So what we're gonna be doing now, I'm using my t-shirt ruler. I'm gonna cut off the excess. A little trick of the trade is what you can do to make sure you get the center is line your letters up, and I like lining the furthest point up with the furthest point and then creasing your carrier sheet. You can go overhead, Sadie. creasing that carrier sheet there in the middle. So now you have a middle line to go by, okay? Crafting, yes, sometimes it is just so much easier to waste a little vinyl. So once we have our center crease, I showed you guys a while ago how to get that center crease. Once we have our center crease in our carrier sheet, and I wish we could do this overhead so y'all could see this, but I am lining, and I'll show you guys. I'm gonna be lining this center mark here up with the center mark on our t-shirt ruler guide, okay? So we're placing our t-shirt guide back in here, lining up that center mark, making sure everything is even.
We have not sublimated on puff vinyl, but I know that they have patterned puff vinyl now that you can purchase, and I don't know how.
I don't think that you would be able to sublimate on or use infusible ink on puff vinyl strictly because puff vinyl takes such a low temperature, number one, and a short time.
Yeah.
We are doing this, once again, 280 degrees for 8 seconds. Sublimation, you have to sublimate. I guess the sweet spot for sublimation is going to be 385 degrees. That's a full 100 degrees hotter than what we're working with right now. So I don't think it would work. Just as a little fact. So once again, 280 degrees. We're going to be pressing this 7-8 seconds. So we have it on 60 seconds. We're going to pull it off right now. And y'all, that carrier sheet just pops right off.
Yeah, it'll say hot peel on the reference guide, but it pops
honest
off.
to goodness, it just pops off. We don't even have to peel it. It just pops off. So now let's bring this back over here so that you all can see the puff vinyl before we add the HTV over top of it. And this is something that you are going to want to be aware of here. This is the one where I didn't necessarily move the R away from that E. I still don't think it looks bad, but it does puff up. So if you do have things that are closer together, be aware of that, okay? But this is what it looks like. I think it looks beautiful. I love the puff vinyl.
Me too. It's so cute.
I love it.
I've got she had to pick up a shirt today and she got me a white shirt. I'm going to make myself a puff vinyl shirt today that says beach bumpin' because I'm going to be pregnant at the beach.
I love it. So now we're just going to lay it back down. We're still keeping our press at 280. And we are going to take going to cut this excess off here. And we are going to take our red laces and we are just going to place it on top of our letters and line this bad boy up. Now, one thing I do want to make you all aware of is you may have a little bit of white on the outside because this is puff vinyl. And you'll see what I'm talking about here in a minute. Because it does puff up a little bit, you're going to have a little bit of an outline. Okay, I think that's good enough. And if you want to be more like truly specific, like if you wanted to cut out each individual letter and place them each down, you can. But this works just fine. So now we're just going to pop that down for 10 more seconds and be done.
Beautiful. And also, whenever you all are doing just the puff, the time is a little bit different. So just be aware, like, the time frame that you're pressing it for is a little bit longer. If Lauren was just doing puff, it would be different. But she's doing a shorter amount of time because she's adding HTV onto the top of it. And we don't want to overwork the vinyl.
And then there you go.
Look how cute.
Look.
Oh my gosh, I love that. On the navy.
I know.
Oh,
it looks so good.
That's cutie patootie. I love
This
it.
looks like a really large youth shirt.
It does.
It
What
said
size is
youth
it?
on it. Youth large.
Oh.
Youth t-shirt.
Maybe it's like really narrow.
Maybe.
It's very cute.
I don't know. It's cute.